What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have episode 27, aka episode 1 of season 2. We have a lot of my best friends here in the community, including someone who helped me kick off episode 1 of season 1. Welcome back, Sammy D.
Yo, what's up, Studfit? What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Good to be here. It feels like that was literally like 3 weeks ago, so that's really scary. But what is time anymore, anyways?
You're the godfather of YouTube channels here. Seems like on the Mario Kart world. So I wasn't sure if you remember this, but we have a little picture here from episode 1, season 1. It was Sammy.
Studfit, you're a baby. Look at you, baby Studfit.
I know. And we all had our Beats by Dre, and before I had my backdrop, and lots changed since then. So thank you guys all. Literally, just huge shout out to all the fans at home who have made the stream possible. I think Tabor and I, winter of 2020, we're talking about doing a podcast and how fun it would be, and then we kicked around the idea for about 6 months, and then we launched memberships. We hit 1,000 subscribers. We launched a Discord. We said, let's do it. Let's get this idea off the ground. We reached out to Sammy D, and Sammy was like, this is exactly what I'd love to do. So let's do it. And such a good support to help us get this kicked off. And then the rest is history. We've had Super Studs. We've had I think FrenzyFans on for, I think this is like literally your 20th episode, and you guys have really made this a part of my life, just having you guys with us. So it's exciting. And then we've had Jeeves, probably 19 of those episodes. Been absolutely wonderful to have you. Welcome both of you guys, as well as FrenZgrind. The three of you guys are super studs, and really probably wouldn't even have this podcast without you. So thank you guys, FrenzyFans, FrenZgrind, and Jeeves. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Happy season 2, man. It's exciting.
Thank
I
you.
it was weird because I remember when you brought up the idea of doing a podcast. I'm like, how are people gonna want to talk about Mario Kart for 2 hours? And I'm like, okay, well, and like you really tried to like get me to submit something. I think I did a video on episode 2, and then I finally caved in and joined episode 3. And in honor of that, I did some research, Studfit, and I looked at what I was wearing for episode 3, and I'm wearing the same shirt.
Same shirt.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yoda.
So,
Wow.
big congrats on a year, dude. It's been a great ride. I honestly didn't think it was going to be like this. I've met some great friends here just because of your channel. It's just been great. So happy 1 year, dude.
Thank you. It's been a crazy year, and honestly, it's grown much more than I thought about it ever being. But I honestly am just so, I feel cherished just to have each of you guys as friends, and the fact that you guys want to join me for 2 hours consistently is just I'm literally tickled every time I think about having this. And honestly, it's probably the highlight of my tour. Like I tour reveals and the rundown are all fun and stuff, but like this is where I have the most fun, to be honest with you. So, and then last but not least, we have Draco655, who won our contest in the month of June. We had member multiplayer Mondays, where we, over the course of the month, we play multiplayer. We hang out in the VC. We have a blast. Sometimes literally with bomb cannons specifically. Shout out to Hero who with the gold Dry Bowser, absolutely crushing everybody. But Draco won our contest, so welcome, Draco655.
Thank you so much. Hey everyone, it's nice to see Sammy D and everybody here. Mushroom Legacy is back again into another episode. I'm so glad. Congrats again for the 1 year of this, and it's just wonderful to just meet a lot of people here and having fun talking with passion about Mario Kart Tour. I have a blast, and I'm always happy to be back.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stop winning all these member multiplayer Mondays, because you keep joining us, and we have a blast, and people are gonna start thinking you're a super stud based on how frequently you're winning. So great job, you earned it, and happy to have you in episode 1 of season 2. So we have a jam-packed episode. When I say jam-packed, I know I say that often, but this time I took a little bit more purpose, and I took a little bit more time to ask some hard-hitting questions. I tried to channel my inner Barbara Walters and like ask some really, in fact, Jeeves was a little intimidated from some of these questions, because They're intense. So lock in, put your seatbelts on, because we're going to have a wild ride over the next 2 hours. I do have a couple questions that are themed. And the way that we thought about this is, how would you answer this question today? And then, using a mental time machine, how would you have answered this question if you were sitting on episode 1 of season 1, like literally a year ago? How would your answer have changed? How would it be different today versus if you were asked that same question 26 episodes earlier? So you'll know when I say this is a themed question, but you can feel for those who have joined us already know a lot of the questions prior. So we'll get into them. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We'll start with a icebreaker from Hero, who says, what will it take for ER Studfit to level up his amazing and beautiful favorite glider, the Yukata Ribbon, maybe some donos. I'm kind of going to consider this a fake icebreaker, because I do not want to pull my Yukata Ribbon or take it to level 8. It's, as you guys know, it's my least favorite glider. Now, I know. It's the same base reskin as the Galaxy.
That's what I was about to
one of my
say.
favorite. I know people say that, but you could put that Galaxy reskin on just about any glider, and it would probably be one of my favorite. And it's I think the one reason it's so useful is because, or the reason I like it so much is because it's useful. The way it looks is just added bonus. You know how I love like multicolored stuff, or a variety of colors similar to the tropical truck. But the real icebreaker is, and this is a theme if you'd like to answer that way. With thousands of games out there, why do you play Mario Kart Tour? And just out of due respect, we'll start with you, Sammy D.
I mean, I do play some other games, but yeah, the past couple of years, this has been the bulk of it, because I keep saying like Breath of the Wild 2, please come out. I don't know if I want to come sooner or later, but whenever that comes out, I'm gonna have to actually spend some hours on another game. But yeah, it's been this game. That's it. I think ever since I've been playing since 92, as the badge says, and it's been this way with every Mario Kart game. Like it's something about it. Every race being completely different, I think, is part of it. You can go with a friend hundreds and hundreds of times. I remember my friend Keith and we played this one battle mode track, Skyscraper, from 64. We would just play best of 500, just like spend 5 hours on the same course, because every time is different and you never know what comes. And so it's that. But then every Mario Kart game in the past, they have that replayability, but at the same time, you do all the 150cc, 200cc, you get all the stars, you unlock all the carts and vehicles, and you're done with any progress. And this changed everything. This is the Mario Kart game I've always wanted my whole life. I never knew it would actually come, and it's here. It's a game that continues to be developed. We're sitting on 9 retro tracks that have come out in the first 6 months of the game.
Yep.
It's just insane. If there's probably 9 more coming, you know what I mean? I don't know what they're doing, but I think we're in the floodgates post-COVID open, where they're able to really deliver on some of the stuff they've been developing. And so you have this every 2 weeks, new content. And the replayability is just insane. You add scoring in, and then you're going after beating your own score. It's just, it really has changed the whole game. And so you have a game that's already beloved and addictive and so much fun, and you've added all these new replayability aspects to it. And I love it.
Great answer. Would that have changed at all between now and last year?
No, it's the same. It doesn't even feel that different from a year ago. I'm basically have the same relationship I do to the game as I do then, except I'm more jazzed now because of all the new content.
Love it. Draco655, what would your answer be to this icebreaker? Why do you play Mario Kart Tour?
That's a good question. For me, let's say last year, because it's not even a year playing the game yet, but just 9 months. So last year I was playing a lot of retro games, so a lot of achievements, hunting achievements, play a lot of different console video games. And then my other passion was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I played at the game over 3,000 hours. Wow. I speedrun the game, got many world record on it. And it was always the same track over and over. And I could spend 8 hours on a track to just try to save a second. That's how much I was addicted to the game.
Wow.
And then Mario Kart Tour, the big reason I play it is just because I'm a fan of Mario Kart, like a big fan, and I know all the tracks in history of Mario Kart. And every time I see new tracks, for me, it's always like a new flavors. Oh, a new tracks, and just the excitement to play something different every 2 weeks. It's just why it hooked me so much into the game. So I love it since I would say day one for me. But I mean, this game offers so many interesting way to play the game, so I like it a lot.
Got a great answer there. Geez, what about you, man? Why Mario Kart Tour?
I think a lot of it was the pandemic, because I was just, being locked in a home was, just scratching to find something to do. I was really excited when it came out. I did like when they did Super Mario Run. That was like the first like Mario mobile game. It wasn't like it was basically a $5 game, and then that was it.
Right.
And that was fun. So then Mario Kart, I'm like, how are they going to do this on a phone? And so I was just kind of curious, and it grew from there. And I didn't realize it was going to be such a big gotcha game. Was not planning on being a whale.
You're free to play, right?
Yeah. Occasionally, I'll buy a pack or two, every 2 months or so.
You're talking about little G's.
Yeah.
No, I think that was probably like, and I had just a connection with it when I was a young married guy. That when I was really young, my first gaming set was the original NES system, and then I didn't have anything that until like I got like the Nintendo DS. I didn't really do any games like in school, in college, or even after college. And then my parents had a DS. Like, you should get a Nintendo DS. Like, Mom, you're telling me to get a gaming system? Okay. And so I got Mario Kart Tour, and as a young married guy, like my wife and I would play against each other on our separate sets and stuff. And we had like a long distance relationship, and I'd be in Chicago and she'd be in Iowa, and we'd be playing. That's how we kind of bonded.
That's cool.
So there's always like a little history with that. And so I'm like, okay, well, and then this came out, and but yeah, it was a pandemic thing. And then I think, the year later, or 2 years, later, the reason why I play is simply because of the community. That if there was no community, I would not be playing. It has given me a platform to express myself, to be someone completely different than a dad, someone that works in sales, and a husband. It's just something different. No one in my tangible life knows that I do this.
Yeah, we actually have a question about that a little later.
Yeah, so like,
Except us.
yeah,
like escape
so
almost.
My close coworkers, my best buddies from college, I don't even talk about Mario Kart Tour and anything like that. I think I brought it up with my best friend once, that I was like, I got like a top 100, and he's like, "Oh, cool. All right, so when do you want to go out and get a beer?" So like, it's just totally like my own little nook.
Yeah.
It's just great, and that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, man, that's a great answer. FrenzyGrind will be your answer. What would you play Mario Kart Tour?
Yeah, I've been a huge Super Mario Brothers fan since Nintendo dropped. I guess it was 1985. Super Mario Brothers 1 dropped, I guess, 1988. A couple years later, I was hooked. Super Mario Brothers 1 through 3, all three of them. Some of my favorite Nintendo games of all time. Then you got Super Nintendo,
Mario World.
Super Mario Kart dropped in 1992. I explained this earlier. One of my all-time favorite games, Mario Kart, of all time. The competitiveness between friends, the challenge that it brings. The game was just so much fun. Just to see how the game has evolved in 30 years. It's just unbelievable. Between ranked, ACR, multiplayer, the graphics, the gameplay, it's just all top notch. There's no shortage of things to do in this game. The constant update and content. I don't know what to say. This year has just really picked up the pace to the point where I just can't keep up. I loved it 30 years ago. I used to have, like I mentioned in my first Kart Talk, we used to have competitions, me and my cousin, my friends. It was crazy. We loved the game. And now to see if we can go back 30 years ago those same people and play this game now, it would just be insane to see what would be going on with those groups of people. So I'm just happy where the game has gone. It's just unbelievable where they've gone. This year especially has just been an unbelievable push that they've gone. They're apparently listening to us. So you know, that's just all I have to say about it. I'm just thrilled and love the game, and it's just, you know, that's it. Just great. Just a great game.
Yeah, you know, just to kind of piggyback off that a little bit. I do think that what's interesting about this game and why I don't feel like, you know, too ashamed of playing it. Like if it was some kind of like, you know, Zero Dark 23, you know, some kind of like weird game that no one's ever heard of. I don't know. It doesn't have quite as much like connection with the random person. Like I remember doing the tour reveal, tour reaction in Las Vegas on the Strip, and about 23 minutes in, some random guy was like, "Hey, you know, can I say hi to whoever you're talking to?" And I was like,
That was fun.
Sure. I was like, whatever, man. And I was like, yeah, I play this game Mario Kart Tour, and he's like, you know, he's like, you know, he's like, don't get blue shelled, and like that is like there is a Mario Kart in
It's
everyone.
universal. Like it's reached the culture that way. Like I had like a pest control utility guy at my house, and he walked by and he like saw a little my Cart Life closet set was like was ajar. He was like, "What you got in there?" And I was like, "That's my YouTube set for Mario Kart." He's like, "What's the Mario Kart?" I was like, "Mario Kart Tour." He's like, "Oh, cool, awesome! I gotta check that out." I mean, it is something that like, yeah, once you do tell some random person, actually a lot of people don't know about it, but they're like, "Right on, you're not a weirdo." That's actually cool because Mario Kart.
Yeah, I agree very much.
Slightly acceptable. FrenzyFans, what would you say? Why do you play Mario Kart Tour out of all the games you could play?
So I think for me, it definitely goes back to just nostalgia. So growing up, I was like really athletic. I'd play sports all the time. I've never been like a big gamer. I'm more of like a social gamer. And my dad used to coach me sports. He was always like my coach growing up. And I remember when I was like 9 years old, I begged for the Nintendo 64 for Christmas. I was like, I just want it so bad. And one of the games that came with it was the Mario Kart game. And it was my favorite game, and I was hooked. And then backstory was because when I was 11, my dad ended up having like a massive stroke, and he ended up like losing the ability to like walk and talk and all the basic functions. And over like it took him like 3 or 4 years to finally get a lot of his functions back. But in that transition time where he went from being like a dentist and providing for the family, he was like a stay-at-home dad who really, we were like taking care of him. But like Mario Kart was the game that he and I would like play day in and day out together. So when I found out that it like came back out, it was during COVID. He was playing it. He was like being sneaky about it. I was like, what are you talking about? Mario Kart's out. And then so we started playing it together. So I would say like nostalgia is what got me back into it and got me into the game. And then I think the community is why I stay, like going back to me being like more of a social gamer than anything. I feel like it's out of all the games that I've played, it's like the one that's most like a team sport, just because I feel like everybody roots each other on, and we all have like, even though we go against each other sometimes, like we're all just here to lift each other up and hang out. So that's why I like it.
Except when you're going against Z and ACR, you just try to keep motivated.
Right, yeah.
FrenzyFan guy?
Yeah, so I think my first console that I ever owned was, I guess it was a GameCube, but then like really like the Nintendo Wii in college, and kind of the same thing. It was like a very social thing.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Wii, like we'd have parties all the time, you know, where we'd have a bunch of people over. But then ever since graduating, I kind of felt like the mobile gaming stuff was a lot more interesting to me. Just having like a computer in your pocket that you could like pull out at any time and start playing something. So I actually started playing lots of like online games, or like mobile games, but I was more into kind of like the Zelda type games. So like Oceanhorn and like Evoland 1 and 2. And I think I like those games because there was always like progress that you could get throughout the game. Like you could always level up, you could get new items, and you know, like there was a story that kind of went through it. And there were tons of other games that like I tried and like would play for a little bit, and then I just never really kind of landed on like one specific game until came to Mario Kart Tour. And I think like the driving portion of it, I think I probably enjoy maybe like 33% of the time. it's like 2/3 of the time that I just love the strategy. Like it's so fun, especially if you have someone that you're playing with, talking strategy of like, who should I level up? How is this going to help me? What are your thoughts on, this character or this or that or the other? And I think that was really kind of what was the idea that started our YouTube channel, because we would spend so many hours talking about it. And we're like, why don't we see if like other people want to hear about us ramble on and on about nothing? And then it got to the point where we're like, hey, let's like get other people on. So now we have strat chats. And so it's kind of like this ever evolving thing. And so it's just been fun.
Yeah, I think the only thing I want to add is Sammy D mentioned it earlier, but just the fact that we have it's basically a brand new game every 2 weeks. I feel like it builds on itself, but it's a brand new game. Yep. It's not that I have a short attention span, but I remember it was maybe 3 years ago or 4 years ago, we started playing dice with buddies with his mom, and I'd be really consistent for a month or two, and then I would just get bored of it and drop off the face of the earth with it, because it's just the same game every single day, right? And I remember years after this, they were still playing it consistently every day. And that's just not in my nature with games. So the fact that it resets and it's something new keeps me engaged.
And just when the tracks do come back, say after 9 months, you have completely different loadouts than you did a year ago. I mean, if Absolutely. We looked at our games a year ago and we were talking about completely different strats, and then a year from now, all of these tracks that are in this tour will have completely different loadouts for in a year. It's
the same thing. I remember because they had the normal and the reverse calamari desert. And I was I forgot who I was talking to. I was like, remember when we were just battling this with Morton?
Yeah.
Who? Now we've got Meowser and the big off-roader and stuff. I'm like, wow, yeah. That's quite the upgrade.
Poor Morton.
KG, I mentioned this to a couple of you guys, but KG on a recent video compared it to an RPG, and I was like, that's it. This is Mario Kart as an RPG. It's got that level.
Tell me what RPG means.
Well, yeah, I mean, Frenzy fanboy, and maybe I have a feeling you're kind of familiar with. I mean, how would you summarize it? An RPG. In RPG, you're choosing your team, and as you go through a story, you are upgrading things. You're collecting items and
getting more powerful.
For Mario,
it's a role-playing kind of type.
Yeah, a typical Mario side-scrolling game is not a role-playing game, but Zelda, for example, is more of especially Breath of the Wild, is more along the lines of that. But most RPGs, you have different characters you're putting in, and this game is the first time. I mean, I've always just played with you just pick your favorite driver in every Mario game. That's it. And this one makes you choose drivers based on their skills and your strategies with them and their items. And it's just a completely different way of looking at it. And they'll be able to keep doing this for as long as they want if they keep releasing tracks. That's the crazy thing. So.
Yeah. As for my answer, I've kind of gone through a quicker version, but I'll enlighten you guys with a little bit more extensive background on my video game history. But so we had the original console for Mario, and we would get basically whatever games were someone else had used. We would get the systems that were one behind. So while everyone else was on Super Nintendo, we were playing on the Nintendo that someone didn't want anymore, and then they gave us all their crappy games. And so most of the time I was playing pretty lame games. But it wasn't until I don't remember playing some of the original Mario Kart until the 64. And I did fall in love with it then, mainly the battle mode. But I was never a racing game guy. We had a lot of sports games. So we would have the Madden, the Blitz. We'd have so MLB, the NBA, Street, whatever it was. So we just would have a lot of sports games. Never really liked racing. There was it wasn't until later in life, as I kind of got older, I played a little bit more RPG. I played a little bit more of some strategy games like StarCraft and stuff like that. But really, then I kind of went to college and then never really played video games. But for me, I remember it was probably maybe 6 months before the pandemic. My friends and I, again, two of my workout buddies that I hadn't known really until 4 or 5 years ago. We would occasionally on a Friday when we both right before a holiday weekend or something, we'd go to each other's houses and actually play Mario Kart Tour, Mario Kart 64, and just have like fun, just goofing around and see who we could beat and stuff. And it was actually a lot of fun. And then I remember maybe a month or two into the pandemic, I was like Googling, best, online games to play against each other. Cause we were like all kind of stuck in our homes, and I was scrolling down the list and I was like, this looks interesting. Words with Friends. Okay. All right, whatever. And then I saw Mario Kart Tour and I was like, this is perfect. We've been playing it. I'll introduce this to guys. They'll fall in love with it. I showed it to them and they're like, we played multiplayer like twice. And they're like, yeah, this is too laggy. I don't like doing this. And I was like, oh man, come on guys, let's keep doing this. And then really, I think what hooked me was what we've been talking about, which is like the 2-week refresh of the game. It literally flips everything upside down. And then all of a sudden, I started, kind of taking a look to see what I had some issues, trying to keep combo and didn't know how to drift. And I was like, someone's got to have like a video on YouTube. And then I found, Go Shiny and Sammy D, and the rest is history. So I think, for me in this game, what I love is the community, the talk about the strategy. But it's just like the game gets refreshed every 2 weeks. If it was not getting refreshed every 2 weeks, I probably wouldn't be playing this game. I did not like the racing I did not like racing games. So for me, it's like the addiction to like the randomness, the RNG that like it's almost like, you're pulling the slot machine. You're like, oh yeah, Frenzy, get him. And so like, I think that part is like, you never know what you're going to get. And like, all I have to do is just open up. I could be like, I don't really feel like playing, but all I have to do is open it up and just do one race. And I'm like, I could be here for like hours. Cause it's just such a fun game. I absolutely love it. So there's my little story. But it's so fun to have this community. It's so fun to be talking with you guys. I'm on Discord, and on like commenting on YouTube, like the YouTube comments or replying to them more than I'm actually playing the games in a lot of cases. But I'm just so happy for this community. And in fact, I want to take things back to that first episode, specifically a question from E. Deedle. And by the way, questions like this is how the rest of hopefully the episode will be. I know a lot of times we talk about the tour we're in and other stuff, but we're gonna have a lot of fun getting into questions, good thoughtful questions like this. But E. Deedle asks, the first question I ever submitted to Kart Talk, which kicked off the first episode, was, what is one ticket investment that you made that you regret? My question for this episode is, what regrettable investment, such as tickets, money, time, Discord, YouTube, anything, did you make over the last year, and what wisdom did you gain from that decision? Congrats on 1 year, Studfit. So the question is, what regrettable investment, whether it's tickets, money, time, Discord, anything, did you make over the last year, and what wisdom did you gain from that decision? Anyone want to jump in first?
I'll go with two of them. I'm going to go with time as number one, because as much as I love this game, I have a family. I have a daughter. She's 8. And I've mentioned this in previous episodes. I'm an ACR player, so as you know, it takes a lot of time going for ACR for top 100. So you can tend to kind of pull away from your family a little bit, or your friends, so for me, the difference between this year and last year is I'm spending a little less time grinding ACR this year as I did last year. Just to, kind of just give my family a little more time, a little more of my time. But in terms of the tickets, I think Jeeves will agree the origami glider was an absolute bust. Sometimes you take a shot, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I also put tickets into the green cactus glider.
Recent, but it's not looking good.
You said something about a green something?
You're asking me to pick something I put tickets into. I'm going to go origami. I could also go semi into the Black Turbo Birdo because it's small. It's helped me on a bunch of tracks, but it's small. So would I take those tickets back? Probably, if I could. But, you're asking what tickets I regret. Those might be
the main point of, I think, if you Dito's question is, what did you learn from this experience, right? So what would you do anything different having learned from those experiences?
What I learned is what I've been doing is I'm not putting so much time into ACR, because for me, top 100 doesn't take 40, 50 hours to get. So I'm just going to spend more time with my daughter when she wants to play, when she wants to hang out, when my wife needs me to help her out in the house. and I'm going to get up and do it while I'm in the middle of a track. It's just like we mentioned earlier. We could swipe up, we could pause the game, right?
Yep.
So
I love that part. That's
family first, pause the game, because now we can do that. I love it. We couldn't do that before. So for me, I pause the game, I swipe up, I'm out. We play basketball with my daughter. I give her more attention, and that's it. That's my main thing. Family's first. The game is second.
Absolutely love that. I think the fact that we swipe up, I think it's one of the most overlooked features. That's a huge feature. I'm curious about though your investments, which having learned from the origami glider, do you think that you're more hesitant to invest in items immediately because of that, or for like the Birdo? Is it the hitbox? Did you learn about that? That you do prefer hitbox, and it has to be number one priority.
So sometimes you got to take a chance in items. They're not always going to work out. I mean, how many times do we bring new items to 6 or 7 and they don't work out? I mean, sometimes you got to take a chance. You're either winning the lottery or you're not. But more times I think you're winning the lottery based on looking at your spreadsheets or just talking to people in the community. So I've had many items work out, but I've had 1 or 2 specifically off the top of my head that haven't. So it is what it is. We take a shot. We look at our spreadsheets. They give us a couple of tracks off the bat.
I mean, that's exactly what it was like. It was looking good because I think it came out Samurai Tour, and it helped a lot with the Ninja Hideaway. It was a new glider. So, and usually like when you take something right to 6 or 7 and cap or double cap, you think it's gonna do you some good, and that one really just hasn't. Like it helped fill maybe those couple of tracks, but that's just been, I mean, at least for me, it hasn't. But
yeah, Jeeves, you want to take a stab at this one? So,
yeah, I mean, I think
what kind of new strategies have you taken from some of these more regrettable decisions?
I think a lot of my regrettable decisions are just single capping stuff, just to single cap it, even if it's gonna, even for ranked, just to have, you think you're gonna have that advantage. I used to do that a lot, but with getting so many new tracks, so much new stuff, you really want to cap the stuff. Those are like you really want to be careful on where you want to put those. So I like over time, and not over time, but like I made a decision. I said, don't even try to single cap it just to get an advantage. Like a perfect example right now is ranked, and I think on that the T track of the Piranha Plant slide or whatever
T version.
Yeah, like I'm using builder toe. It's yeah. I mean, I could throw tickets on Rosa, and I see a lot of people doing that. I'm not a boomerang guy, so I don't do that. So like I have, through pipes or packs, I have towed at a high level, but I'm not even going to throw a cap ticket on it. It's just not worth it. So that is the big adjustment that I've done, because like I have Mario SNES like single cap. I mean, that ticket could have gone somewhere more important. Or like I have Yoshi Reindeer just single capped at like level 6. So all these, you add all these like miscellaneous single caps, they add up over time, and they could have gone into something more useful. So that is my big lesson learned.
Oh man, I don't think we've talked about that at all on this podcast. Yeah. I think I did that a lot with carts that first year, just like a wild wing here, so yeah, I'm with you there. It's a really good point. I don't think we brought that up enough. What about you, FrenzyFans? What's one decision that you might regret, but more importantly, what'd you learn from it?
So I feel like the last year was a complete blur in my mind. So I don't even know if this falls within like the actual year requirement, but we're going to go with it anyways. So baby Mario Koala was my biggest regret in life, because he came out and I thought he was literally the cutest character in the world. And I got so excited for him. I'm like, I'm going to get him. And so I ended up, I don't even remember the stats of the pipe, but it was a horrible pipe in my opinion. And like, it
was a special pipe where he wasn't guaranteed.
That's what it was. Anyways, I wasted so many rubies trying to get him, and I couldn't get him for the life of me, to the point where I like ran out of all my rubies. And then he came again, And I think
Is
it was
the next tour or the tour after.
it was like really soon, but he was guaranteed that time, so I was like almost just like emotionally like, I'm gonna get this guy, right? So I spent like all my rubies again because he was at the bottom of the pipe. Finally got him, but I think I spent over like 750 rubies for him, and then I kept him at level 1. So that was my biggest regret. What I learned from that is, especially like, I guess everyone on this panel knows this already, so this is kind of more for like newer players. This was back when I was newer to the game and didn't understand like investing and all the fundamentals. So the biggest thing I learned from that is, whether it's a special pipe or like a 100 pipe, whatever, I don't go into it with a passion for a character unless I have enough rubies to guarantee it to me. And then with a special pipe, I don't go into it with the expectation that it isn't guaranteed. I think life and the game's all about expectations, right? And so if you can go in with like budgets in your mind, so like special pipes, if you're like, okay, I really, really want him, I'm gonna go in for it, but I'm not gonna spend more than 200 rubies, right? Like set your limits and then just be completely comfortable with whatever you get. Sammy D has a great tip for that. Like whenever he gets into a pipe that he
Resets it.
won't touch anymore, he just resets it, right? So
Lock the door and throw away the key.
yeah, like play out the scenarios in your mind, figure out what you're comfortable with, and don't get emotionally wrapped up in the cuteness of the little guys.
What about you, Draco?
So for me, I started into the second anniversary tour, so that it was in September. I was near the game, so I tried to pull for, I don't know what I pulled. I was just like randomly pull, and then I got Mario Akama, and I was like, what is this to my coworker? It's like, it's a coin box. And I was like, how it's work. And I was trying to figure out how it worked because I didn't know at the time. And I was like, it's really good. It's really good. You should invest into him. It's a coin box. I was like, okay. So I think I put it like level 4, and then I probably never use it after 1 or 2 tour after that. And then, so that was one of my mistake I made. And then after that, just before I created the Mushroom Legacy, where I only play with Daisy, Peach, and Rosalina. So now I put all my resources into those drivers only. So all my tickets, investment, anything where I pull. I was into, I think it was the here, I forgot the pipe it was, but Tanuki Rosalina was in there. And it was Nabbit and Baby Koala. I was like, oh, Baby Koala is nice because for multiplayer, so I need that. And then Nabbit, I was mainly going for Nabbit, but I got 2-time Tanuki Rosalina. And I was like, oh my, I was like, no, I don't want her. I was so upset. And now I just like, oh my God, I like Tanuki, like I'm just in love with her. So yeah, so one of my mistake was pretty much like invest into characters like Akama, I think I regret. And also I did buy some packs because before I created my concept, I didn't know, like, I buy like Luigi Classic, I buy like Cat Toad. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I realized really fast, then the game changed a lot. You have a lot of items. I could not keep up with new players. And I was like, if I take my own money to buy something which I'm not using, what's the worth of it? So I stopped that. And then my lesson was I only buy like Daisy Swimwear or drivers of my own Mushroom Legacy to at least I'm going to play them and I have my money worth of stuff. So that's my biggest lesson. And my biggest investment was Golden Wing. I would never regret the gliders. I put it level 8 immediately when I on the Meteor. That glider is just amazing to me. So that's that.
You know who it's not amazing for? Sammy D.
Yeah.
You want to take your stab at this
one? It could be if I dropped 4. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I've fallen. So I feel like in year 2, I kind of like just tried a little bit of slight variations of different strategies, you know. And I part of it is like, now that you're having me think about this whole year ago thing, a lot is coming up because like I'm remembering now that was before Kamek. So I was at a place, I even said in videos, like if Kamek doesn't come out before Halloween, because that was always my thing, then I'm gonna, you know, probably like stop. And then he came, and then everything got so much better in the past 9 months. So it is a different game for me now than it was then. But since then, like, because I was like, I reached this pinnacle of my own like hopes for the game, and so I was like, what do I do now? Well, I guess I just enjoy the ride, which means I get to not stress about it as much and try to fall back on my earliest principles, which you would think would not apply anymore from like year one, but they really still do. And it's, for me, it's all about like patience and conserving your resources and all that stuff that, you know, we talk about and KG talks about. And it's like, it's why I kind of like have made a big fuss about like, you know, not going into special pipes anymore. And to be more specific about it, the regret I would say is pulling on so many special pipes in the fall, like last fall in particular, like summer and fall. Particularly, you know, I feel like those 50 pipes, like sometimes there'd be a spotlight item and sometimes there wouldn't. Like there were a couple of new items that were not spotlight, like Sakura Hot Rod, right? Has still never been spotlight. So that's a good example. Like I did not go into that pipe because in the fall I went into so many where I would be like, oh, well, what if this is going to be the one I have to have? You know, even if it was spotlight, I go in and it's 250 possibly each time. I mean, I got lucky plenty of times, but you know, I got one after the other. You know, I can't name them all now. The Golden Wings was one of them, but you know, the ship's wheel and all these, the gold home field glider. I was like, oh, I want this one too. And then I just got in that habit, and then I had all of these gliders. I have like glider coverage on every single track, and there's all these level 1 gliders, and none of them give me a majority of tracks because they all overlap with each other. And I was like, that was a huge waste of rubies. I want to go in on the ones that I really want. And I actually did it this tour with a secret scroll because I love the Japanese stuff. And I was like, that's one I actually want to get, you know? And I mean, that one might sit there too, but
What level
at
is the
least I'm
secret
being more
scroll at?
selective.
Did you level it up or is it still level 1?
No, it's still level 1. It's still level 1. And that's part of my strat too, is like pocketing things. Like I did not, I mean, we've all talked about how now it's more risky to go all in quickly. I actually never go all in at the beginning on, unless it was a coin boxer, but Tie Daisy is still level 1 for me. I'm waiting. PD is still level 2, which I did this weird thing where I gave him one ticket. So G has brought up like giving one ticket here and there and siphoning off little tiny moves over time. But I don't know. I think anything in moderation is okay. If you're like throwing one ticket to something, if it's going to save you a couple hours of time, like in a busy week, to me, that's okay. You know, I wanted to play with PD. I wanted to get him to level 2. And I know I'm going to take him higher. So I don't know. These are some of my thoughts, but being more conservative now, learning to only go in on the special pipes with spotlights, never for a non-spotlight. I'm not going to do it anymore because I think we talked to on this show and in the community, like there's a lot of whales, right? And so pulling on special pipes that don't have spotlights is fine because you're going for duplicates. I've never been in that mindset because I don't know. I would still rather use a ticket than spend 45 rubies just for the chance of one ticket upgrade. And then a more tangible thing was I took the bronze suit early to level 6, and I don't know if I regret it. I want to let that one play out, but I think I imagined the 10 weeks for the gold suit lasting longer than it did. Like that went by pretty fast, and all of a sudden I had the gold suit. I think I was a little bit caught up in the me excitement and wanted to get that bronze suit up. But I also didn't know they were going to bring like 3 more boomerang drivers right after that. You know, that was like before Volendam and PD and everything. So I don't know if I'd say I regret that one yet, but that was a rare early spa day that I don't normally do. And I really like the conservative approach and waiting. And then strike when the moment is right.
It's interesting you say that because every once in a while I'll scroll all the way to the right and see that the bronze me suit's on a track. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I had taken this, if I would be like crushing this right now.
ACR though, I mean, I just hit I look at Rashid's prediction for top 1000. I hit that mark and I'm out. Like to me, like 950 is, I don't care, 900, 600, 500, 300. Like I'm in the top 1000. I'd rather save my time and do other things. And so bronze suit probably does play into ACR more than I realize. And I'm just not aware of it.
I mean, for someone who made the move, it's. I'm glad you shared that perspective because I always wonder. At least now I've been wondering that. Actually, one of the things that I've learned is kind of similar to that, just kind of around 2 pieces. One is, pulling for specific items. For me, one of the learning experiences that I've had over the last year is going into a week 2 pipe for a cart, for a brand new cart. I think we were all jaded after the Silver King experience where I know FrenzyFans, you guys went really, really far for it, but it was like, a must have for the Bowser fan. And then I think almost every single tour from then until the end of the year, even into this year, it's always like, I wonder if this one's going to be like the Silver King. I got to get it. It's a week 2 pipe. I don't like any of these items, but I got to get this. And so one of the things this year is just like, I'm not going to go into a week 2 pipe 4 at Kart. Now I did make that exception for the tropical truck, and I made a specific caveat to my decision, which is I'm not going to go into a week 2 pipe and pull that item unless I am ready to take this item to level 8, 700 in the very, very near future. So
I was going to say Frenzy Fangirl style, but level 8's, yeah.
It could,
invest in it.
Immediately, like I'm ready to invest in it that tour or the next tour, and I'm going to put tickets on it. I'm going out of everything in my arsenal, like this is my inventory. This is the one I'm going to be putting tickets in, like no matter what's in ranks, no matter what's going on. So I've been doing that with the Tropical Truck. I just took it to took it to 700. If I get 2 more tickets, I'll take it to level 8 this tour. Nice. But for me, like that's a decision. So I'm fighting it so hard with this Lightning Streamliner this tour because it's such a great cart in how many things it covers. Now the thing is, because I'm a whale and have all these other items, a lot of these tracks are already covered, with things like the Sakura Hop Rod at level 8, 700 as well, and like these other things. I don't need that cart, so I'm passing on it. But it's so cool to see Draco pull it and have so much fun with it. It's an awesome cart, and so I that's the thing is I'm never gonna rain on anyone else's parade. It is a legitimately like a meta dream for so many players. So I highly recommend pulling it. But for me and like where I am in the game, that's one of the kind of the little mini rules I've set up for myself and things I've learned. I've also learned a couple other techniques kind of similar to what you've talked about, just this tour specifically, Sammy. Since level 8 came out, coins have been such a hard battle to have enough coins to get tickets. Not just now that I have a mini open, not nearly as many open spots in my shop as Jeeves has or Kareem, but I'm starting to get tickets somewhere in the 6, 7, 8 range every single tour, and then I try to get the tier level tickets, never the cap tickets, but only the levels. And so for me, like getting a coins, I need 100,000 coins or whatever every tour. And so I find myself pulling on the pipe for coins. And so I'm now to the point where going into this tour, I saw the special pipe. I said, 3 out of these 4 drivers, I have a level 8. And so I'm just going to avoid that pipe, and I'll just pull the week 1 pipe and get some dupes of PD, get dupes of these newer items, and get coins along the way. And that's kind of that's what I've been doing literally up until this morning. But then I thought to myself, you know what? I would probably get higher return in the way of coins if I pulled on the special pipe, even knowing that I would get these items that I have a level 8, but I'll get what I really want, which is the coins. So in my mentality, I think going into next tour, instead of buying 12 packs and just getting dupes of this week 1 new item, I think what I'd rather do is accept and almost appreciate the fact that I have things at level 8, and so not be afraid of it, because I know that going into that special pipe, there'll be some things at level 8, but I'll get at least half my return back for those items, and I'll get additional items in exchange for that. So for me, I think going forward, I'm just going to get the thing in week 1 just once, and then move in and not be afraid of getting coins in return for those special pipe items, because and then hopefully maybe save some of the actual real money that I have by not getting as many packs, having to get those rubies and try to get the coins in a more premium way. So anyway, that's my long story of what I just learned this tour.
I think in terms of the coin retrospect, I think for everyone, like no matter what kind of play you are, the coins are an issue from a whale standpoint and from free-to-play Go Pass. And I really think that needs to be addressed. I think that was addressed somewhat last tour when they had a coins of plenty every day. It was increasing. That was nice. But they really need to figure a way to kind of, allow either, lower the price down for some of these things. 20,000 coins it's just ridiculously expensive. Like I don't even buy the cap tickets.
Yeah, maybe battle mode will be like.
I might buy them for if it's a driver, because I think drivers are give you more oomph. But I mean, they really need to address that. Whether it be maybe allowing Gold Pass to get more than 600 a day, or 300 a day, or just maybe have like, a day where like it's half off, like 50% off and off your shop, or it's just something.
Can I challenge that mentality for a second?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't even have an opinion on the matter. Like I really don't. But I feel like so many times in the game, we all want, like Nintendo has these different throttles on the game that like kind of holds us back intentionally. And I feel like so bad we always beg for them to take the throttles off. But when they do, it creates problems like having to open up level 8, which we all loved and hated at the same time, right? So my question is if they were to make coins way more accessible so everybody's able to get more high-end tickets, more uncapped tickets, are we just going to create a future problem where we're all maxed out?
Because there's so much out there that you could decide where to put those coins on.
Yeah,
it's such a
the whole economy of the game is growing. I mean, I even after level 8, I have way more tickets on average now than I did a year ago, which is crazy. I mean, we always talk about we can't keep up with these drivers, but somehow I have more rubies too. Like I don't know, they have slowly been ballooning it. And I heard maybe it was again KG who talked about in these mobile games, and I think Carlos talked about it too. Over time, the economy does balloon overall. I mean, Frenzy fanboy, you still haven't said your regret, but have you experienced that like over time with some of the games that they grow the whole economies with all the different resources? That's what I was wondering, like if like a battle mode, we always think, oh, more rubies from battle mode, but maybe battle mode is just like a coin bonanza, or something.
And I bring up the coins because I really think it's something that everyone is experiencing.
Yeah,
not just one market player.
Yeah, that's what Carlos said. He was like, if he's running out of coins, he was like, that's a problem because someone like me should be able to buy this. Just it seems like a little bit off.
I mean, for me, I cannot even like buy like 3 high-end tickets. I need to right now. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna IN driver tickets 15K each week one, and I cannot even go on my shop. I don't have a lot of max level 8. For me, that's a huge problem. I try to fight it. I try to play smart. I can't even buy anything on the daily select. I need every resource as possible to maintain. It's so hard for me as a mid player.
I started buying the normal gliders and carts this week. I finally caved.
It's also why Nintendo has made the normals 40 tickets, super 16, because they wanted to make sure that this lasted long enough so they didn't have to worry about feeding the players coins.
Yeah.
So now we're getting up to what, 6 months now, and now people like myself, Jeeves, other people, we're starting to clear out our shops. We're starting to get tickets. And now we're like, what? I have 30,000 coins. And I got at least 4 tickets in my tier shop. How am I supposed to buy that? Plus everything that's starting to flow through my actual shop. There's nothing
that's the big whale problem.
But I don't think Nintendo, it's like that question, does Nintendo know that people are pushing it to that max? Or is it is it supposed to not be possible? Like finishing the token shop, is that supposed to be possible?
So I think that this is part of the reason why I like the game so much, is because this introduces strategy.
Yeah.
If you had, if it were possible to buy coins the way that you can buy rubies, just with real money, it would throw a whole nother, it would make the game less strategic. Like you just, everything that's new, you always take to full max.
Yeah, it'd be kind of game over.
And honestly, like life isn't like that. Like I don't get hundreds of millions of dollars
yet
for my job, right?
What?
And it's
Really?
and it's
surprise.
It's just the way life is. Like, I mean, same with YouTube. Like we've done like 250 plus episodes, and like we're definitely not doing it for the money. like there's strategy to it, and you really have to assess like what your goals are, A, and B, like what are you going to do to invest to realize or meet those goals. And I think that that's what like really life is all about. Like whether you're playing sports, whether you're in college, whether you're trying to, you know, advance yourself in your career, like just because something isn't like over plentiful doesn't mean that that's a problem that needs to be fixed. It's an invitation to reassess how you think about the situation, I think.
I think, you know, on that point, like we were so used around like with level 7 where pretty much everyone was just getting coins, and now that's just being taken away. And with that habitual part of the game just being stripped away, like it really just shakes things up. And so, I mean, I think you're very much onto something. And if that's the way it is, if that's the kind of what they're aiming at, then okay, leave it as is, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it would hurt to have like, okay, you know, it's our 3rd anniversary. Everything, all shops half off. I mean, is it really going to
occasional? I think
Yeah.
they do. Yeah, occasional extra things.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like
I
the
agree.
points of plenty. But yeah, I mean, I think you bring up a good point. Like,
Yeah, well said.
in life, like everything has its own like little ecosystem. Like I've mentioned before, you know, I've done some fitness competitions under bodybuilding, and it's got its own world. Like there are, you know, some sponsors here. There's like shows here. It's like almost like when you play these games that like you know, you got to earn this here, and then you're qualified for this over here, and then you got to grind this here, and then you go over here. And like life is like that. No matter what, you know, no matter what hobby, no matter what job, like there's like a ladder that you can climb to be able to do that. And what I think is that this game, the ladder's just kind of has been shifting, and I think that they've kept us on our toes enough to keep us interested. Now, those, you know, some people are not, you know, stimulated as much, and that's fine. But I think that's a big part of what's interesting about this game. You can't just go out and just buy everything. You can't just go and you know, you do have to be strategic. I think to your point, Sammy, about I think maybe Sammy you said it, but like if everyone had all these tickets, and I think actually FrenzyFans, you were saying it, but like if we all had tickets and we could just buy tickets, like we would all go up and we would all kind of all balloon together. But I also think that to kind of be the devil's advocate on that point is that by allowing us to get level tickets, all that does is it really helps the players that are strategic, that watch videos like this, that have the spreadsheets, because they, and you know, they're maximizing everything. And what it does is the you know, the lunkhead, you know, whales that are just getting everything and just kind of throwing things around, being very wasteful and a lot of leakage, whatever terms you want to refer to.
Leakage. Sorry.
You're thinking about your
You've got a lot of leakage.
No, I mean,
Hence the crapper 10 pulls. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
we promised
Now I have
Sammy
to make
we
an
wouldn't bring up
edit.
the crapper
Stuff
test.
it hates editing.
Anyway, no, but it's kept the whales humble a little bit. I think that's kind of what we were all afraid with level 8, that, oh my God, this is going to be awful. I'm going to go up every week against level 8 whales. They're going to kill me every time. But that's not what happened. It kind of balanced things out in a way that maybe was needed a little bit.
I think Sam's got a good point. I mean, you want to keep everyone motivated. And that's what level 8 does. And like exactly, you want to keep, like, even you want to humble the whales. But
and they're still playing. I mean, most of them.
No, that's the thing. It's like, you know, with me being the whale, you know, I kind of want that. But the other thing is that it's such a fragile, you know, like whatever these changes are with level 9 or, you know, level 8, or if you know, the coin issues and stuff.
Yeah.
Anything that's been so ingrained in the game, when something shifts, you really have to be careful about that, because like you could really, you know, kill off some of your huge followers. Like, you know, that's kind of what I always fear. And I just kind of trust, you know, I try to trust the process of that. Okay, they're just not going to do it. They're going to keep me engaged. I'm still going to love the game. But like, you know, with these coins, it was just like, oh, this is tough. And I like it. I don't want to say like I don't like it, but it's very, it's uncomfortable, and it's like, what should I do? And it's big. It makes me very vulnerable, you know, and which, you know, again, it's humbling. So I think they're doing a good job of that. But
you've become a better player since then. I mean, I've watched you. I can tell you've become a better player as a result.
Well, that's
because
part
you
of
do have to. Okay, this is a new world, and let me get my bearings. Let me be smart. Let me refocus and look at everything in a new way.
No, I
with
mean,
the skills that
the investments that I put in the game, that I put, some people, I mean, I don't name names, but I'm sure there are people out there that just have unlimited amount of resources to money and they can just do whatever they want. And
that's you, right? No, I'm joking. Hey, you bring up a good. You bring
like
up
they don't, but they don't. They're not smart with the game. I mean, not smart, but they don't.
That's,
they don't,
I wasn't trying to say that, but
they don't use. They don't use spreadsheets. They just go, which is fine. But there are a lot of us that, like, if they're going to put in a lot of money into something, they want to be smart with what they put in.
That's a good
whether
point.
it be just because like if it's character enjoyment or whatever, but so it's just. I don't. I mean, I'm probably just going off and rambling on.
You actually bring up a good point that I want.
I really like what Sammy said. With like, you gotta keep people motivated instead of and humbled, but without pissing them off.
No, you actually bring up a really good point, and it's actually a perfect transition to one of the questions I have here, which is, with this token shop pipe, and I don't know if any of you have cleared it yet, but it just seems really daunting with these coinbox drivers because you really want the red coins. But then you have these new tracks. We have this new EXP ceiling raised, and now we have all these boomboxable tracks. Do you enjoy this never-ending side of the gameplay that we have now, or do you believe that maybe the game's gotten to become too grindy? To your point about pissing off players, I mean, do you think it's like sometimes it's just too much? It becomes like almost like
I hear from a lot of like really hardcore ACR guys saying tokens, they're so stressed about getting the tokens out of the way. And again, it's one of those things that's just, these habitual things that we're used to. There's a token shop, and a lot of the whales can get them out done in. Sorry, I'm beeping again. Getting them done in like 2 days, and now it's gonna take 9 days, and it's a waste of, it's taking their quote grind time. So it's just one of those things, like you either accept it and you adjust to it. I don't know. I think it's just one of the things they're throwing at us, and we're just gonna have to deal with it, to be honest with you.
Does anyone else feel the game has gotten too grindy?
I think it's forced a lot of us to self-regulate a little bit, at least for me. I'm not a whale by any stretch of the imagination. And like I said, like I love the game from a social aspect, and I enjoy the competition when the competition makes sense. But I feel like—
I don't think it's a whale thing. I think it's an ACR grinder thing.
That could be it too, yeah. But for me personally, like I feel like the game is at for my account, it's at an interesting spot where I'm getting to the point where unless I'm not every week, but I feel like every month there's a cup or like a ranked cup where unless I decide to invest like 15 tickets, I'm kind of exaggerating, but not really, and like 20 hours into that one like cup, there's just no way I'm going to place. And so like, I think a lot of it's like with self-regulation. I think in the past, it was really easy. It was way easier to place like top 3, at least for my account, than it is now. And so going to it being too grindy, like with all the new special skills that are being released and with how hard it is to acquire everything if you're not a whale and you're kind of more gold pass with a couple packs here and there, I think it's, I don't even know how to say it other than I do feel like it's too grindy for me, but I feel like that's also okay because it has to be an ecosystem where everybody can get what they want out of it, and then just taking ownership and agency for yourself and doing what's best for you is my vote.
Draco, I know early on, I think one of your earlier videos, you pulled all your token pulls, I think like on the Saturday after the tour was released. So I guess 4 days in, and then like the following tour, you're like, I'm not doing that ever again. I just got too burnt out. I know just specifically with the tokens as one example, but how do you feel? Do you feel like this game has become too grindy? Do you feel like you don't need to get your token pipes every single tour, or how do you feel about them?
Honestly, I don't think it's too grindy. I think it's like a great feature for new advanced player because you get a lot of good resources. I did it like very fast, probably like you mentioned, like 3 or 4 days with Crash the opponent. I was at 50 cc, Super Bell the entire way. 30 to 40. I was like, oh, that took me like 15 to 18 hours to just complete that. That was a lot. And then I feel proud of it. I got 4 golden into that one video. I was very proud of myself. And then after that, the coin box was almost like harder than crashing because I was less consistent with like the coin box and the way I was getting tokens. So it's almost like they nerf it at the same time, the way you collect tokens. Rally was fantastic because it was super fast. So it was like a relief. And now I'm like, is it really worth to doing it? I'm like, I'm doing it for probably like 21 pull and just give up after it because it's too much grindy. I don't think it's worth it. Most of the time, I think one time I tried like so hard to get empty it and I got 1 goal and it was my 30 pull. And I was like, man, probably never getting a goal at all. And it was just not fair, not fun getting item tickets, which I really don't enjoy getting. And some of the items in there are just, I think, not great for the invest of time you spend into it. So I just do it 20 pull now and I would just like, okay, I'm done with it. And I just don't want to waste too much time because it takes a lot of time. Like imagine like someone who have a family, activities, jobs. It take a while and it's just not something you can, I mean, some people have free times and they do it like a couple of days and that's fine. But I mean, for the reward, it's good. And for the time, it's a lot of time. So I prefer to grind some player levels and just get it done. A couple of pull and that's it.
Sammy D, I know you've talked about you kind of over the boomboxing and specifically boomboxing taking a lot of time and energy. How do you feel like that kind of plays into everything we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean the token shops. I made peace with not finishing those pretty quick after a couple tours. The grindy part to me, I gotta be honest, it's the 100% action count thing. The numbers going around for these 100% action counts. I mean, I feel so bad for anyone starting the game who's like looking at those numbers because like they are insane. Like I'm especially last week was a perfect example because it's all boomerang and some of these 100% action count targets, they seem to be like double boombox level type of runs. And let's just be honest, those are like 1 in a million runs, or not 1 in a million, but you have to play all day every day to get those runs. Like I'm not even exaggerating.
No, you literally do that.
You have to play all day every day. That is
it's not guaranteed that you get them. It's not guaranteed that you get those runs.
Exactly. And the friends of ours who stopped playing the game, those are those people who never went to the level we have where we're trying to get into the upper percentages of the action counts. And I just like, I think they have to be where they are, I guess, as a target because you have to show what's possible. But that to me is the grind I'm trying to reckon with right now.
So I don't know if you guys have been like watching any of our episodes where we talk about the FrenzyFans calculator.
Yeah, you keep them nice and low, which is good.
But yeah, so I take a look at the DKR if it's like a new course, but a lot of times I'll just take a look at my previously recorded runs that I felt good about, and then I'll put those values into the calculators, hoping that when it gets out to the community, people can make the decision. I don't want to put that bar super high because it's really a balance, right?
Yeah.
You can level things up and it's less action.
You choose how you want to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or you can have less levels and more actions to be able to get.
Which is why I threw a ticket onto PD or just to, you know what I mean? Just for 1,000 more points so I can save 15 actions or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like the action counts lately, they're kind of more like special pipes where it's a crapshoot where it's like maybe you get them, maybe you don't. You could literally grind for like 20 hours and not get it, or you could sit down once, play it, and like that's the run, right? But the unfortunate part is because it's so tied to like our progression in the game is we are all attaching, like, not to talk about it again, but like our ego to these, right? So we'll sit down. We've had a couple mental health conversations in our relationship, even last night, where it's like, not to throw you under the bus, but even last night, where it's like, it's okay. Like, it's not that Like, it's not on you. Like, literally, Mario is telling you, like,
we've all been there.
I'm not gonna give you, like, I'm not giving you the frenzy luck, and that's like, it doesn't mean you're a crappy
You guys,
player. Like, it just means you have a crappy week.
I won ranked by 200 points on this boombox week, and I won it with a second place finish on a run. That's how I got into that. It was the most pathetic, and my ACs were like not even 80%. And I'm good. Like, I'm a good Mario Kart Tour player, you know. And yeah, with the boombox, it really is just. I mean, yeah, you gotta know what you're doing with the lobby and everything. But still, even with the good lobbies, you know.
I'm glad that you can say those words after a week like last week, that you can say I'm a good Mario Kart player, because that's what we were talking about last night.
Yeah.
But the complete opposite. I feel like I'm not a good Mario Kart player.
No,
And he's great. He's
too.
great.
No, you're good.
I don't.
It's all about fun.
I don't. So yeah, and that's the thing, is when it gets to be not fun, then I start getting these thoughts of, I mean, when I see streamers like Carlos getting it's 200 or no bueno within 45 minutes for every single track that they try. And when I just try one track for nearly 10 hours and can't get anything.
He has spent, you might not see it. I watch it almost every day, and there are plenty of times when he has to spend 10 hours.
Yeah.
And he is very skilled. You know,
but I think this is where, like, what I was saying earlier comes in with the self-regulation. Like, this past week for me, I had like, I entered everything into the calculator, and it was like the max you can get with your loadouts is 85,000. And I was like, okay, so if I want to get first, which was 115,000 for my ranked, I was like, I have to invest like 15 tickets. I'll have to grind like every single day to maybe get it, maybe not, because it's all about these boom boxes, which is so hard. So I literally kind of just like got to a point where I bowed out last week. I kept all my resources. I took 12th place, which was horrible feeling. But now this week I'll have a much better shot. And it's kind of like, that's where the self-regulation comes in for me. Which,
we hope.
Yeah, who knows? It might be another 12th place week. But
yeah, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I didn't really stream at all. My playing is I was just a little self-conscious that what if someone watches me play and they don't think I'm good enough or something like that. I'm
dude,
like,
my stream, I came into my stream on Monday. I was like, this is the easiest rank I've had in a while. Like, no problem. I don't have any tough opponents. And I couldn't even lock down first, you know. And I was like sweating all night. I was like, this is ridiculous, because there's these ACs. And yeah, I do appreciate that the FrenzyFans calculator, you guys keep the targets like normal people level, which is good, helpful for all, because then I always do better than your calculator says, and that's what you want. You want to under promise and over deliver.
Exactly.
We assume you have a full-time job and a life, and that's how we know.
Well, I think also, I think so. I've managed reps before, and we always try to set the goal, or like whether it's quota or whatever. You kind of want to set it just a little bit of a stretch, but you don't want it to you don't want people to be defeated when they don't exceed it. So because that can be deflating, especially if it's like consistent or no one gets it. So you kind of want your top 20% to be able to exceed quota. But you kind of want to keep. You don't want to keep. You do want them to stretch a little bit. You do want them to kind of be out of their comfort zone. So I think like it is good to just kind of. I think people would be surprised how much more they can. But also know that like the top 100, like 100%, is not like set at that goal. It's literally set at like it's not like it's not supposed to be achievable. Like you shouldn't be.
You have to have it there as a.
You have to. Well, you have to accept that's not like that's. You're not gonna. And so for me, like when I was going for top 10, there were some people where I was saying like, hey guys, I'm going to be like 50K short. And they're like, well, how much do you have here, there? I'm like I spent 6 hours. I took the day off, spent 6 hours to add 20K. And, if I wanted to add 50 more K in addition to this, which I'm actually going to have to probably go back to the tracks I was grinding yesterday just to be able to make that up. I'm gonna have to do it for another 12 hours, and I'm like traveling for work. I'm not gonna get it. They're like, well, do you have this? I'm like, guys, no, like I'm not gonna get there. Like I'm just not. There's a point of diminishing return very early. So like I love the reasons I enjoy doing all cup ranking is because with my account the way it's set up is I can get like 85% average across the board. And I'll be in the top 50. So for me, like that's actually a lot of fun. It's like, hey, I can get a coin box coin and maybe 2 singles or something like that. Done. Walking away.
Yeah.
I don't have to get like a 4 coin box singles and a frenzy. That's you literally have to take off 2 weeks of work in order to do it. And honestly, for my top 10, I was trying to break the system. I was trying to do what everyone else that was in the top 10, they were all putting 60, 70, 80 hours into that. And I was just trying to do it in 30 hours. And so for me, like I was trying to kind of sneak in, and it was kind of fun. It was kind of close. But I was literally trying to, but the thing is, like, you can get 80%, like 85%, 80%, like I do in all cup ranking with 10 to 12 hours. But then to get from 85 to 90, you have to double that time. You have to put in another 10 to 12 hours. And then to get from 90 to 95, you have to put in like another 20 hours in addition to that. So again, it's so crazy because you're literally talking about, 5,000 here, whatever it might be. But guys, just accept the fact that getting 100% is not going to happen. And when you see those numbers, just know that's not like the goal, but that's just like the ceiling, So I don't know. Hopefully that helps somebody somewhere.
Yeah, and like Draco said, sorry, go ahead.
It makes me cringe a little bit when people, especially newer to ACR, they'll fill out their ACR, like the heat map, and they see that number of like what they're projected to get. And, it's like 1.5, 1.6 million. And people are like, oh, sweet. And it's like, no. That's 100 hours later and sweet.
Yeah.
And
that's why I don't like
have.
That's why I don't like the term projection, because when you hear projection, it sounds like it's like an expectation.
Right.
Like that should be like they need to call it a different term. It should be
The ceiling.
The ceiling. This is
Max.
the most you can get.
Yeah.
And if you can get more, it's not going to be much more than that.
I was gonna say, like Draco said, it always should be about having fun. I mean, the weird thing is, as much as I don't like the grind, there's another part of me that every race I'm still having fun, and I'm still like, oh, that was cool how I hit that Goomba or whatever it is. There's always something, and or else you're going crazy, and you should step away if you're really not having fun. Change the track, try a different driver.
Switch it up.
That's why people invested in Pinja, because he's kind of like one of those easier grinds. Although I was grinding with him on Piranha Plant side, and then I hear from all the Pinja fans that it's not a good Pinja track. I'm like, But
when you have it at a high level, either way, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Speaking of grinding, can we all just like give Sammy D a round of applause for his grind? Like, I love watching that every single week. It's one of the funnest things ever.
Yeah, that's really fun.
I loved like Abdallah's Tuesday Road to Ranks. Like, I would look forward to that. And so, I was like maybe I can. It took a while to get the tech going, but I didn't even think I'd start doing videos at this point. But yeah, it's a cool thing that maybe people can look forward to.
I just want to mention like one thing. I don't want to brag my concept, but for me, my joy of this game is really my concept, because if I look to all my skill and special, I have one giant banana, I have one boomerang, I have 4 coin box and a couple like lucky 7. Yeah, it's a nice spread. And now I enjoy Firefly, Fireball, or whatever. I enjoy Super Bell. I capsule all the on meta skills. I can actually see my target action count like a little bit lower. I have so much fun to reach those. And I can just enjoy all my run. Like this week, I have enjoyed like Fire Rosa. I got a great run. It was not perfect, but the day where they're gonna be level 8, this is where the fun will be more begin. But I'm so proud for reaching those like my first top 1 badges after like 8 months of playing the game. So for me, that's a huge accomplishment, and that's what I try to show. But this is why I like my concept, because I can have the freedom, not thinking about the metas. Just going for the skills. I enjoy. I don't mind about this skill. Don't mind about that. I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. Trying to do my best. Like 2 coin frenzy. I'm out. Like most of the time, 80 like 4K difference into the ACR sheet, and I'm good with it. And I'm just proud of it. And it's more fun than just thinking about Pinja, this and this and that. It's too much. But I just restrain myself, and that's just how I enjoy the game.
FrenzyGrind, what do you think? Is this game too FrenzyGrindy?
This game is way too FrenzyGrindy.
You named yourself after it.
The game is way too FrenzyGrindy, but in Nintendo's defense, they're doing it in our favor. So I think the token shop hype is in our benefit. is it a little tough to clear? Yeah, I think it is. But at the end of the day, it's in our benefit. So it's just an extra little added benefit they're giving us. Whether we decide to finish it or not, that's up to us. But I think it's a great addition. And whether you want to do ACR or not, that's up to you. I think that's the biggest grind of the game. So if you're an ACR player or not, that's up to you. That's the biggest grind of the game for me. So it's just up to you. It's grindy, but I think they're doing it on our behalf. So you decide how you want to play the game. Whether it's ACR, if you want to clear all the token pipes, if you want to leave 10 token pipes, you don't want to do it all, whatever it is, but I think it's all on our behalf. So
also with the token pipe, like let's say if the levels were level tickets were a little boosted compared to the cap tickets, let's face it, we all want the level tickets.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe how backwards that. I don't understand. Like it's more valuable to get a cap ticket with coins. They made them higher, and now we get a cap ticket, and we're like, oh, cap ticket, and then like go to the next pipe, and like I can't even tell you how many glider cap tickets I have right now. I might have 29, I might have 28, I might have 27, somewhere in there. Like I don't have it memorized. It's not going to change my game that much. So that could be the only thing in those last 10 pipes is one glider cap ticket. But if it were levels, then
Well, that's the problem. You never know. I mean, I'm just so tired of getting point boost tickets and normal and super point cap tickets. I mean, I get to 25 to
normal
31.
caps. Oh.
Yeah, no more caps are terrible.
Super cap,
The worst.
normal cap, and I'm just like, why did I just grind all that for this?
well then that's why I say you don't.
But you never know what's there, right? So
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the thing that might be there, it's not going to make or break your account.
no, of course not.
Would it have been better if they made the token pipes unlimited? So you didn't have to feel like you had to complete the 8,750. It was just
keep going up 100 each time or so.
Yeah,
The
but then
thing
like
is-
cap at 500, but then
Yeah.
like it's just
yeah.
you play your game how you want to, and then whatever tokens you have by
Right.
the end of the tour, like that's what you can spend on tokens or on the pipes.
That's a good idea, but the coin boxer now you're always gonna have token in there. It will never go away.
But we could I right now am
clearing it.
holding off on grinding all cup ranking because I want to get my tokens removed.
Cleared.
So in this theory, like I could go ahead and start having fun with all cup ranking. Like I'll be honest with you, this tour is probably my least favorite ranked of all ranks because we have like these 3 retro tracks brought back in, like Ghost Valley, Choco Island. Like I don't want to be grinding these for ranked, and so for me, like I'm just grinding them for mainly because they're coin box drivers. I'm trying to get these tokens, but if I knew that they were going to be always there forever, I don't know. There is something nice knowing there's no finish line that I have to get to before I can start something else.
See, here's the thing though, is you're grinding them because you know that all of your opponents are also grinding them.
Yes.
If the tokens were always there and
I
the
agree.
entire game base had to deal with it, then it's a moot point
And then red
and
coins
it
are
doesn't
set.
matter.
Equal playing ground. Yep.
Good point.
Exactly.
But
That's what I'm
also-
saying.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
point.
agreeing with you. I agree.
Yeah. Also, not to get too much into the red coins thing again, but do they really matter that much on your score? I mean, are we
Yes.
talking? Okay,
Yeah,
how
it's
many
all-
actions differential? How many actions differential?
One
We're talking.
different.
10.
Well, there we go though. But I was saying I didn't even get the 10 actions I wanted to, and that's completely aside from any red coin. I'm just saying, like,
I don't
you
know,
might
for
have a
an
run
ACR
with 10
grinder-
more actions.
For an ACR grinder, that's a lot.
I
Because
get
it's
it,
multiplied times 36 tracks, and again, it's like 3,000, 4,000 points. So, it's there. Like for Choco Island, I grinded that probably more than any of the other track. I still had 8,000 left on that track because I no matter how many double coin box and a single box, whatever, there were too much flying around, and then even when you got the one, it was a token, and yeah, it was pretty rough. But
Well, I mean, specifically for Jeeves and I, we know somebody who's going for top 10 who made a last minute decision to go for it. So now he's going to try to clear all the tokens out of the shop in the first 3, 4, 5 days of the tour.
Yeah, which you did.
So which is a big deal if you're trying to go for top 10.
That's when you pay your kid $20 to grind some tokens while you're at
If
work.
you want to even go further, we can talk about if there's a controversy with the auto clicker.
Wow.
the auto clicker.
Kind of think it'd be
Yeah.
cool is if when you like go in and you can choose like the speed that you're gonna race the cup at or the race at is if they had like a token and a non-token one. So for those who don't want to race tokens, you can choose to play without getting tokens, but then you don't get tokens for the shop.
That's a really good idea.
Like, I think that would be pretty cool.
I like that idea, actually.
I like that too.
So take note of that. Well, we've all been kind of just hovering around the topic of life balance. So this is one of the theme questions where I do want you to think, like, how has this changed? You know, how has my answer changed between now and if you were a part of episode 1 of season 1? How do you balance life and Mario Kart Tour? Do you ever feel you need to tone things down in how much you play, or does it usually, you know, self-correct? And I want you to specifically think about it this time versus last year.
I think, go ahead. Who was going?
No, go ahead, Jeeves.
I think in this time, you know, a year ago we were all in a different place with pandemic. Even 2 years ago, it's weird because like I don't play as much as I used to, just because of, you know, things are open, kids are doing camps, doing stuff, traveling. But I've also learned that this game is very important to me, and I've accepted that, and I think it's good. I mean, I think it's great because like I don't want to say I've become a better person, but I've become happier. You know, there's just something to say, like I have my friends like Studfit and, you know, and Z and FrenzyFans and Natalie and Godmo. They're like my friends. Like they're almost in a way no difference than my tangible friends. It's really interesting how I learned. Like I really learned about how, like with virtual meetings and stuff, how you just become attached to it, and the acceptance of that. So I think what Studfit said, you know, I've just learned, like if I'm overdoing it, I just know, you know. I've never had like my wife saying, "You're playing this too much. You should spend more time with your kids." I just know, you know. It does help that like my kids really think it's cool. They like to see me on this, and they like to see me grind. They like to see me in the ACR, especially with like the one that, you know, Little G's. He's got like top 10 people on his friends list, so he doesn't, you know. You know, he's like he knows like the ACR folks and stuff. So, I mean, you just kind of grow off that and just accept it. So that's just kind of how my story is, you know. And like, you know, I'm gonna hopefully meet up with you next month, Studfit. And,
yeah.
You know, and FrenzyFans, you travel all over the place. Maybe you'll stay here too. And Z, I'll probably never meet you, but whatever.
Jeez.
What do you guys think? Life balance, Mario Kart Tour. I know FrenzyGrind. You're that's one of your lessons this year is just kind of to take things. But you know, there's different ways to do that. There's like, you know, block time, or there's, you know, just being willing to just kind of give up, you know, mindset wise, and just say, you know, I'm going to swipe up. I'm going to jump into here where there's needed. Well, how do you balance life in Mario Kart Tour?
Yeah, I mean, I just last year I spent way too much time playing this game. I focused way too much time on top 100, and like I mentioned, I disregarded in ways people in my family that I should not have done over a stupid badge that gave me nothing else but again, a badge. It's a game. So I self-reflected, and my 8-year-old daughter does not deserve that, and my wife does not deserve me to sit here in the cave and just grind ACR and disregard them. So I said to myself, you know, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to put more time aside for my family and my wife and my daughter, and when she wants me to blow bubbles, or if she wants me to play basketball, or whatever little activity she wants me to do. Like tonight, she wanted to blow bubbles. You know, I blew bubbles because ACR is not that important to me anymore. If I get top 100, it's great. If I don't, I don't care. It really doesn't matter. I mean, everyone's going gaga about the PD badge. I don't care. If it's the top 1,000 PD badge, it's the same badge. I don't care.
It's a nice badge, though.
I went on vacation.
A slightly different handle to it.
Listen, I love PD, but top 1,000, top 100 badge, same thing to me. I don't care anymore. Like, family's first. If I could do it, great. If not, whatever. Family's first. It's the bottom line. That's how it always needs to be. And
I can't imagine having kids and playing. I mean, I ask all you guys how you do it. And you've all found your ways, you know. Thank you for sharing that, you know, and Jeeves too. And I talked to Dooley and Jay and all those guys about it a lot. And instead, you're doing it and doing a channel. I've always said to myself, if I were to be so fortunate to have a kid, I know right now what I feel is that the day I find out, I'm closing down the channel. That's how I feel right now, you know, but obviously it's something, because I was like, no, I can't do that too. But I don't know. Obviously, I might evolve my decision there. You know, I think that like the question about the significant others that is in there is great, because like,
we'll get to
what's that, Z?
It's hard because I've gone through a situation where at one point I really disregarded my daughter and things she wanted to do because I was so into this game I just couldn't put it aside, and it was a real problem a year or two ago. So I really had to self-reflect and just put this game down and just put top 100 aside. It's not the end of the world. Like, my daughter comes first, and it's real. It really is a big deal.
Yeah.
I would just see her run in the house crying sometimes because she had no one to play with. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I mean,
is that kind of what did that a moment like that or something? Or?
It snaps into you. It really does. I mean, if you have kids and you're just into this game a little too much,
sure,
it really does hit you.
Yeah. I was thinking it's an addictive game. I mean, let's not be around the bush. I don't know what, you know, studies they did, you know, after like the whole Candy Crush era to figure out, okay, how do we get the most dopamine released and as many successive hits as possible where you have to keep coming back. Well, but it is addictive. And yeah, I mean, I was just gonna bring up the significant others because that's what I have. Is I have a significant other. I don't have kids. And I think all of our family members are significant others. I mean, I always say, I wish I had a wife who was obsessed as Mario Kart like Frenzy Fanboy does. You're a lucky man, but like, yeah, I think all of our significant others would say like they've probably been on their own internal journey trying to make peace with it. And you know, mine, I just know that I mean, she's
so
definitely
let's jump to that question then.
Yeah.
So just to phrase what you're alluding to.
Phrase it.
If I asked your significant other, what do you think about Mario Kart Tour? What would their answer be?
So I think like, like for the first year and a half, she'd probably say he plays a lot, like, you know, like that kind of thing. And then I think it didn't take long for them to realize like, you know, if someone loves you, they want you to be happy. And if your favorite thing to do with your leisure time is play Mario Kart Tour, then that's what they want for you, you know? And especially now that there's like a community, you know, and like, I was like, you know, I was about to come record this and like, I said, goodnight. And, you know, she said, she's like, you know, you've worked so hard to like, you know, be a community leader for so many people. And that's so cool. And it just made me like feel like you get what I'm trying to do, and it's not just the playing of the game. It makes me extremely happy, like a kid, you know. And that's what we're all doing. We're carrying forward our childhood. That's what this is. That's the nostalgia. You're capturing that in a bottle. We have it in our hands at all times, and like who's like. Of course, that feels amazing, and it's what we like to do. And some people like to, you know, knit or do Sudoku or watch films or watch sports or whatever it is. And you know, if you love your person or your family member, as long as you're not neglecting your duties and neglecting your money and you know your jobs, then you know I think most of our people are happy for us doing what we love.
You make an excellent, great point there. I want to share almost the same because my girlfriend is really like appreciative of like me keep pushing because she tries so many things and so many projects, and every time it's almost like a model for her. Like I try to do YouTubes, I grow it, she see it, she's proud. I play Mario Kart Tour, she's fine with it, she like it again. I wish she play more as well, but she don't. But also like for me, the community is everything. Like I don't want to play alone. Like when I started this journey, I was scared to talk to Studfit. I was scared to talk to all the other content creators. And now like I'm feel very lucky. People accept me. I have Puffton and Larry, which is like my closest friend right now. I have so much fun meeting like that right now. Sammy D, with me and you like just talking and more connection. FrenzyFans the same way. I like Jeeve. Everybody like without everybody here, I would not enjoy this game at all. And I have a job, but also I try to spend time. But like I said, I'm trying to having fun, meeting people. I'm always trying to be positive, helping people. They ask a question, I answer. I just want to share passion with everybody. And what the game is the new feature every time. That's what hook us. Like this is the real deal. New tracks, new characters, the thrills. That's the thrills, the adrenaline. But I mean, like I said, without you guys, I'm so blessed. So thank you guys for just be there with them, just talking with me and just having a fun time with me. So that's all.
Well, you bring up a good point. If you don't mind me just kind of making a keep on that same slight tangent, just because I think it's really interesting, something that happened today. Recently we had Matt Ulrich joined our channel through, I think, a gift from somebody, and I found out he had his own YouTube channel, and so I went out and subscribed today, and then I had someone reach out. Sergeant Pianta reached out and let me know about his channel. He recorded his first video today, so I think I was like subscriber number 4 and liked this video. Just said, keep it up. And what's interesting is like about 10 minutes later, I joined one of our work meetings. So what we do is the company I work for is we have a lot of care navigators who help patients, and there are numbers that they have to hit, and so like they played this one video that talked about like on your deathbed, it's not about how much money you made or like what you accomplished. It's like people will remember how you made them feel. That people will remember how like you impacted their life. And at first I was like, oh yeah, I can. I was thinking about like work, and then I started thinking about like my channel. I'm like, I really want like more than anything else. I'm so glad that Sammy, he joined our. At the time, whenever he and I first met, and we're like, I barely hit 1,000 subscribers. I was basically a nobody, and now I'm able to repay it forward, and so I'm able to help Draco, help Sergeant Piazza, help Matt Ulrich grow their channels, and I'm not sure why they want to do it. It's really not that glamorous once you get here, but like I'm just like, for me, it's like I know that these people when I do comment like keep up the good work, they do feel like. And FrenzyFans, when we've like you and Draco are similar examples where I was like, man, I want to pump them up. I want everyone to just, all my followers, just all my subscribers, just subscribe to these guys too, because they're awesome. So I just, for me, it's like I feel like sometimes this channel can be a lot of work, and so having kids and a wife and work, and I'm traveling a lot and stuff. But like for me, it's like I do think like when I'm laying on my deathbed, like I'll say, I was able to make people happy playing this silly game. Yeah. And I know that sounds so crazy, but like this to me, it's like people will remember how I treated them and how I was able to help supporting them. And so from that perspective, Sammy D showed me how to do that. So thank you, Sammy. And I'm so happy to see, a lot of the channels here grow. And I hope that if anyone else wants to grow their own channel or start their own channel, by all means, go ahead and do it. I'll be one of your first subscribers. Let me know, because that is why I'm playing this game, is not for my own joy, but to really just allow other people to find joy in a variety of different ways. So small little tangent there. I don't know, FrenzyFans, you want to kind of share your experience along those same lines?
Yeah. So for me personally, like I love what we're all saying. I think one thing in life, whether it's Mario Kart or work or whatever, like any hobby that you have or pursuit or passion that you have could become like way overwhelming, right? Yep. So like an exercise that I do a couple times a year is I just reevaluate what my top 5 core values are, right? These are the things that like I am non-negotiable about, like they're my passions. They're the things that like my entire ethos is built off, right? So like for me, part of that is marriage and family and play and fun and you know what I mean? Like you you have to know what your core values are. And I think where the problem comes, whether it's like within your marriage or a relationship or with kids or whatever, is if all of a sudden we're placing values that are not our core values above our core values, but we're not asking ourselves enough, like, why are we doing this, right? Like, I think it's super healthy to ask yourself, why am I doing this? So like for our marriage, like my marriage is one of the most important things in the world to me. And so when we first started playing this game, it was like, going back to my core values, it was like, well, if you're gonna put this much time into it, like, let's do it together. Like, you get so many, we all alluded to it, but you get so many things out of one thing than you would think, right? So like with Mario Kart, like our marriage is stronger. Like, we've improved our communication skills. We've learned new tech skills. We've learned even like marketable assets that we could use in our job in the future. Like, there's so many different things that you can get about it. And as long as you're being like open and honest with yourself about why you're doing something, I think that's where you can keep that balance and that happiness going. Yeah.
I'm fanboy.
How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was debating whether or not to bring this up, and I'll try and keep it together.
He gets cute sometimes and all emotional.
So before Mario Kart Tour came out, shoot.
Look, I'm here for you. Go, because I can go deeper too, and I mean, we're here for it, so we got you.
So there were a couple of years where I had kind of hit a low. There were lots of conversations that Frenzy Fangirl and I had where I think she kind of recognized that, and she's like, hey, like, what's a hobby? Like, what's something that we could both try and enjoy, like, and do together? Because I was just getting in a rut. Just between kind of, like the work stuff and church and, just kind of the same thing over and over. I didn't really feel like I was getting any sense of fulfillment, I guess, from anything like in particular. And as much as I didn't want to admit it, like, it was just grating on my soul. And we were trying real hard for a long time to try and figure out something that we were both passionate about. I think Frenzy Fangirl, she's done more than her part to try and like support me. So like photography, like I'm really into photography, and we've spent probably like 75% of all my vacation time trying to find, places throughout the country and world to photograph, and, stuff that like excites me. And she, whether she is legitimately excited about it or not, like, she lets me believe that she is. But then Mario Kart came out, and it was just something that like it clicked for both of us. And I don't want to like come across as like sounding braggy or, it's something like we're awesome at and like nobody else has. I don't want that to come across at all. But I'm just super grateful that you and I were able to find something that we both enjoy to some degree at the same level, and has really helped. We talk about mental health out a lot. I think it's helped my mental health because I don't feel the same way that I was feeling beforehand. Not to say that I don't have my down days or I get discouraged, but I would much rather take those because there are just as many high points and enjoyable times that we get to share. But life right now is so much better with this game and also this community. And like you're saying, the things that we've learned and the people that we've been able to meet, like, it's just been such an amazing experience, more than just putting a game, like a game in a game console and pushing start and, just kind of like mindlessly doing that over and over again. So
it's like it's an actual story. That's why I like this. I like to hear Mario Kart. I don't say Mario Kart Tour career. I always say Mario Kart Tour story, because everyone has a different story. But and thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for sharing that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I can't top that, to be honest with you. But
Well, I'm not. I don't
Man.
want to top it, but I can also. I would love to share another level if I could.
Yeah, by all
Just
means.
because it's something I've never talked about on the channel too, and I will whenever I do shut down the channel, I will say more about this. But like, yeah, I would probably be playing this game just as much, you know, in any scenario. I mean, like I said, I've been playing the game since day one, 92. But I was thinking as we were talking, I was like unlocking a lot of like insights about my relationship to the game and how it's like a meditation and how like we all need something that keeps us centered. And, you know, you go and you do it. And I always think about sports being like so compelling to people because sports and games in general have nothing to do with the rest of life. They are an isolated world where none of the, I mean, yeah, politics do come into play in sports and other real world things, the stories of those human beings and minorities and economics and socioeconomics. But with games, it's really like it's you could say escape, but I would almost say it's like it can keep you grounded. And we've all been playing it enough to where it obviously is something that keeps us grounded. That's part of the addiction, is like you're going to something that is comforting to you and does keep you grounded. And while you're playing, you're thinking about life. You're thinking about whatever you have to do that day, and you're defragging. But for me, it does go deeper. And I also had a really hard couple of years before this game came out. I went through some stuff that I never thought I would have to experience. Some absolutely traumatic stuff, and I went into some traumatic stuff that put me in a place where I did not feel confident sharing my gifts, my personality, the things I love. We're talking about like abusive people in your life and I've let it happen a couple times in my life, but this was the big one, and I got out of it. I got myself out of it. And right after that happened, this game came along, and I was like, I'm going to not just put myself out there, but I'm going to do it with just utter abandon. And I actually, most of the people in my real life don't know I have a YouTube channel. That's because I want to be me in front of people who there is no connection to my normal life. It's kind of why I've been a little hesitant to like form a lot of close friendships in the community, because for me, it's like, I need to do this for myself. And if I can share my passion and my joy with others, and if there's anyone out there that responds to it, I needed to do that for myself. And for it to be a success, it was it saved me, really. Like there was a lot of other things that got me through it, and my partner is one of them too. I think she also gets that you needed to do this to just be fully who you are, and that's why I'm doing it. Yeah, I don't know. That's what came up for me in response to what you shared. And yeah,
I mean, if I could just share something quickly.
By all means.
My wife didn't understand this whole Mario Kart Tour thing last year. She had no idea why I was playing this game so much. She resented me, I think, at points. She resented me for the fact, probably because, you know, my daughter was 7 years old. Why are you playing this game so much? Why can't I get your attention? Blah, 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 blah. And a couple of months ago, my wife turned around. And the reason is because my wife found out that, so my wife's very big in the Peloton community.
Oh, yeah.
She rides the bike every freaking morning. She got a call one morning, and she got an email, and she's like, we'd love for you to come to the studios. 2 weeks ago, she went in the city, and she did a live class with one of the trainers.
Wow.
So she's gradually got very big into the Peloton community. She's in touch with a lot of people, just kind of similar like I'm doing with you guys. You know, she saw me starting to go on your channels, and, you know, she was starting to get involved in the Peloton community. She's like, no, I'm starting to get it. You know, I understand. You go on voice chat on Friday, Saturday nights with some of your friends, like, you know, and I understand you have friends, you know, and I'm starting to see what it's like. You know what I mean? I got the same sort of thing going on in my Peloton community now. I see why you spend so much time playing. I see why you spend so much time on voice chat, why you go on the, your video on your, the Kart Talk and all that stuff. And she's starting to get it, where before she was kind of resenting me. So now she's starting to understand. It's like, I kind of get it now. It's your hobby. I get we're getting older. We don't play sports anymore. We don't play baseball, football anymore. We're out of shape. Our hobbies are no longer sports. We're kind of going in our own video game directions where we're fat, we're out of shape. We don't do that stuff. We sit on the couch and play video games. That's kind of what we do now. We sit on our phones. We talk to our friends virtually from other states. It just kind of is what it is. But it kind of set a trend for me where it really helped me, just because like what she felt about how I was playing this game and how I, put my time towards her and my daughter in a specific way. And her getting into her own community really helped me have more confidence to just kind of keep up what I was doing. Because there was a point where I was about to back out because I was getting a lot of heat, and for understandable points. So I'm grateful for her, for the community she's in, and that she found out and she understands where I am, and it's just I just got to give her a huge shout out, because understanding where I'm at in this game, and I made a lot of great friends, and I wouldn't be on this podcast right now with you guys if I didn't stick with it. So I thank her. I thank her for her understanding, and you guys for putting up with me every other week or whatever it is. So
she ain't putting up with you, man. She's not putting
So
No,
Studfit,
Miss Z.
how about you? How would you respond to this question? What you don't talk about your wife a whole lot. What does she think of
Talking to
of
me or
your
Jeeves?
Studfit?
Yeah. I was actually going to ask Jeeves the same question too, because I know we were a part of a little birthday festivities, and I was honored that she actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, whatever you guys do, like you're one of Jeeves, friends." So we had like a little birthday party, and honestly, I was like really honored just that she reached out to and considered me more than just some guy on YouTube that he watches. And like I am, Jeeves is the only person on my channel that I text with, like live texting, like on our actual real phones. And like I'm looking forward to seeing Jeeves, and like I would, any other friend that I've met and haven't seen for a long time. So I want to definitely get Jeeves' answer. But yeah, as for me and our household, one of the reasons I had this question as like a theme question is because I do think it's changed a lot in the last year. I mean, at first it was kind of like not a secret, but it's like I was just playing it, and the gyms were closed and all this other stuff was closed. So I was like playing in between sets here at the house and like doing it in between things. And then, the channel started kind of picking up, and then we started having Kart Talk and had, recording with Antelev. And I would say one of the things that's been nice with Antelev is, because he's in Amsterdam, I kind of take like a Friday afternoon and we record, because I feel bad like taking time away from at night, and my sons they're up way later than they need to be. Like usually their bedtime, they go into bed at like the same time we are. So we don't get like my wife and I don't get a lot of alone time to be able to hang out. But I kind of keep certain areas and certain times sacred. And like, I don't, except for this top 10 grind, I don't really play like at night when we're laying in bed, or there's times like that where I don't. And I'm a little sneaky about when I play. It's like bathroom breaks here, just like oh, let me go get the laundry.
That's another good question. Like, when do you sneak around?
Yeah, like I'm gonna go check out like that. Did you hear that noise? There's a really great noise. And then I swipe up and then
I gotta ask you a question. How do you go get the laundry and grind down the bots that fast to get a good run?
Well, I'm saying like I would go out of my way to like try to finish a run if I got like a hey triple coin frenzy something happened, I had to swipe up, and then I
Oh my
swipe
God,
back down.
that's
and then
happened
finish
before.
it up.
You're in a double coin frenzy, and she's like, "Honey," I'm like, "Oh, swipe up,
What?
yes."
Swipe up.
It's like 10 minutes later, you go back, boom.
And then you're ready. You're just like, all right, I'm gonna swipe up
Yeah,
and then start tapping away. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Oh my God,
but yeah, I
been
mean,
there.
overall, I would say my wife's very supportive around. Hey, once every other week, he has this thing late at night, and
Yeah.
it's not that big a deal for Kart
A
Talk.
schedule.
Yeah, I think what's tough is like when I'm messaging something on Discord and she's trying to talk to me about something important, like, hey, by the way, my oldest son like didn't do something for his homework, or got an email from school, or hey, we've been having roof rats as a problem, and so like we're getting people like taking a look at our roof, and she was like trying to talk about roof rats, and I was like, this is. And meanwhile, like I'm like trying to like copy and paste everyone to get the questions for Kart Talk, and like I don't know, it's like that kind of stuff where like being the quarterback of the channel can be tough, and like messaging people about stuff, and honestly, like even recruiting people for Kart Talk is difficult, but it's never something I want to give up because I like being able to bring on unique guests and stuff. But anyway, I think to your question, my wife's very supportive, and I do in our household, I'm like the very involved with my sons, and so like I'm the one that drops them off at school. I'm the ones that picks them up. I'm the one that takes them to the park. I'm the one that does a lot of things with them because I have two boys, and so it's like boys doing boy stuff. I'll take them and they get dirty, and like I don't know. It's very easy for me to do that, and so it's kind of like a yin and a yang. So like there's times where I get off and we just came back from Busch Gardens or came back from the park. And my wife's like, hey, why don't you take some time and do some stuff, play Mario Kart Tour. She probably knows I'm playing Mario Kart Tour, but she's like, said, play some stuff. She tried not to be.
I want you to go grind right now.
Yeah, like
leave me alone.
I was able to tackle this project, but I'll be honest with you. Just as many situations like that, there are other situations where I'm just having a rough day. Like I think it was Monday night. I had a rough day at work on Monday, and then. My wife worked all day Monday, and so at night, I was actually really quiet. When I'm upset or have like a lot of things going through my mind, I'm just really, really quiet. So my wife was like, "You're really, really quiet. Like is everything okay?" And I was like, "I just had a rough day here, and the boys have been crazy." She was like, just got off work. Why don't I give him a bath? You head into the room. I'll fold laundry and then take breaks and whatever. But she and I kind of can feel each other out. Like she knows when I need some time, and I think that's really, really important to be able to read each other. And anyone who like say Draco, with your significant other, like if you can read each other and without even saying anything, you kind of know where you're at, like where you're when you need a break, when you don't need a break. For me, like I see this like in a lot of my friends have like a golf membership with a country club, and they pay a couple $100 a month for that, and they take 4 hours to play. And to me, like this is my golf membership. This is my country club membership. So for me, like this is my detox. This is my way. And so I think there's times where she knows I need it, and there's other times where she's like, it's probably not a good time. And I know I'm able to read that. Well enough. So yeah, long story short, I don't have a good answer for you, but I think that for me this is a release, and I do probably need to tone down my Discord. One of the things I'm nervous about for the Discord channel is like people are paying like to be a member. It's a members only. Like I gotta give them the value, and so I think I do. That is probably one thing I have to kind of probably check myself more often than not on. But that's my answer. I don't know if that's what you were looking for, Frenzy.
So the real question is has she subscribed to your Studfit channel with her account? Is she a subscriber?
No, she's not a subscriber.
Oh no!
Wow.
I don't get free subs. No way.
My girlfriend does.
My girl's never even watched a video. She watched part of one. But I love it. I think we have very different interests, and it's great.
I don't even think she has a YouTube channel.
My wife hasn't watched one Kart Talk video I'm on. She's like, I'm sorry. She'll sit there for 5 minutes there. I just don't understand it. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I get it. It's fine.
What about you, Jeeves? You obviously have a very wonderful.
I pretty much. I think I can relate more to Studfit's history on it. It was basically I started playing, and she knew that I was having fun with it, and I didn't really get involved with too much community. And then I started doing these multiplayer races with Go Shiny, and I think she and my kid like the global aspect of it, because I think he was in England or London or something. So that was really kind of cool. Like my son was like, wow, you're talking to someone in London and stuff. He loved the global aspect of it. And that kind of continued. And I think my first episode, I think we had Aussie Kart. And then one episode we had Cream, and just the global aspect was just really intriguing to my wife. Just to be connected with people in different cultures and different countries and stuff, and learning about them. So I've become really good friends with like Kareem and Aussie Kart, and Natalie is my oldest friend in the game, obviously. And so when my wife saw that, like, that was really cool. And the other thing was, like, we're in a time in our lives where Sammy says, when I have kids, I'm shutting the channel down. I want to think that that's when you find out you're going to have a kid and you're going to have babies. Because if I would do the same thing if I was going to have baby. I'm like, okay, I'm going to just tone it down because I need to focus on this. This is at a time where, like, my kids are getting older, they're a little more independent. I'm not changing diapers all the time, and doing a ton of laundry. You do a ton of laundry with babies and feeding babies and stuff. They can do things on their own. You can just kind of let them go, and so you can do your own thing a lot more. That's kind of the past 3 years, that's kind of what's happened. And so we've discovered like these little passions that we have. My wife has a little passion with another thing. I won't get into it, but and it's just kind of cool because, like, she's in her own community and I'm in mine, and we're just kind of feeding off that. And also it's with Studfit, with Studfit and his wife, like, they feed off each other. It's just a natural thing. And so I kind of had that with my wife. I mean, she doesn't know the game at all. She doesn't care. But she knows, she knows Studfit. She knows FrenZgrind. She knows the FrenzyFans and God Mode and Natalie. And she knows that, like, I'm close with them and I have relationships with them. I think the only time it gets in trouble is sometimes I'll get, Discord pings and messages, like, they should be like, what's going on? And I'll be like, I remember I think it was 2 tours ago, and Natalie was going for a top 10. She got her top 10, but it was really rough for her. It was she got it, but, like, it was a challenge for her. And a lot of times, like, me and Kareem kind of we had to, hopefully she won't get mad at me for saying this, but we had to talk her off from jumping off the cliff. Oh. And a lot of top 10 people know the feeling, because, like, it's so crazy, which is why I'm like, I will never go for a top 10. I don't care what kind of loadouts I have or whatever. I'm never doing it. It's like, it's a time thing, it's a mental thing. I'm never gonna do it. So, like, she'd be like, I'd be getting pings during dinner. What's going on? I'm like, oh, Natalie's just going nuts. And so you kind of have to, you have to know, like, it's kind of like drinking. You have to know when to say when. And fortunately, that hasn't, she hasn't been like, oh, you're playing too much or you're getting involved too much. I mean, she knows the joy, obviously. I mean, she reached out to you for this crazy surprise party. So, I mean, it was just like I didn't see coming. So, like, she totally sees the joy that I have in it. So, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't see that dying. I mean, I'm just having fun. I'm riding the wave, basically. So
it's like we have these passions, like the running themes is like everyone's got their passions and their stories they're brought into this game. And if you're doing something as much as we're playing this game, there's some reason why you need to be doing it. Even if it's unhealthy, there's some reason why you chose to do that. And we can't overlook just like the state of the world the past couple of years.
I don't even want to feel like it's just the game. It's more of the relationships that you gain from the game. Because we don't talk like a lot of time, like, we don't talk about the games at all. I'll be like, hey, hey Z, how you feeling? Because I know you had COVID or something. Or hey, Frenzy fanboy, how's the move going and stuff. And
It's harder for me as a creator and someone who's running the server to maintain a lot of close friendships.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, it can just get very complicated, very.
Oh, absolutely.
And I hear people say that a lot about it's the community that means more to me than the game. And I'm not saying the community doesn't matter to me. Obviously, I'm here and love all you guys, but like, I love the game kind of first. That sounds weird, but like playing the game itself and talking about the game. Like when I saw the deep questions list, and this has been amazing conversation. When I saw the deep questions list, I was like, oh man, I kind of wanted to talk about all the nuts and bolts about tickets and all the stuff they always talk about. But because I just love talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
But no, obviously, yeah. I mean,
I think one is the
all have
function
different
of another. You know.
Yeah. And you guys are relationships that have, like I said, made me believe in myself again to do this. It's a two-way street, you know.
Yeah.
To be honest, it makes perfect sense because we wouldn't have met each other without this game. So
yeah,
I totally understand taking the game first.
I think the fun thing about the game too is it's not just a Western culture thing, but I think like we're all grown adults, right? Like I joke that we're all grown adults playing a cartoon game, right?
Yeah.
But the fun thing about it is like you grow up in society, right? And you're given opportunities like to be creative and to play, and it's like nurtured into you as a kid. And then you graduate from high school or whatever it is, and it's like go out, get a job, be serious, like. Yeah. And the culture, like, no, I don't think a majority of us feel this internally, but like the culture shames you for wasting time or being lazy or playing video games, right? Mm-hmm. But like if you really study like human nature, like it's such an integral part into us actually like unlocking the other parts of our life that are important. But so many of us like neglect it. So I think it's really fun that it's been like a platform that we can all kind of come back into. It gives us the community, yes, but also just like the playing nature. It gets you like in flow state, which if you're like really into it, like flow state's critical for any type of like new invention or new like, or like growing, right? So point being like, there's so much greatness in the game and it's, I don't know, just focus on that stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I have like a very hilarious story, like, but it's like an analogy similar to that. And I was going through this just happened like 9 months ago. I've been like, it keeps popping in my mind. Like I need to talk about this because it was like, it's actually, to me, it's really funny, but like it actually is exactly what we're going through. But I was going through a shopping center, and like there's like this part of the shopping center where it does, you know, they have like the Halloween spirit thing, like they have a bunch of pop-up stuff, you know, where they rent it for a couple months. And I was driving, and all of a sudden I was like, there's this line of like, you know, 60-year-old men, like white men, just like all wearing like their, you know, tightest jean pants and white sneakers. And I was like, what is going on? They're like, the line is literally like into the road. I can't go anywhere. Why are all these older white men here right now at this shopping center? I look over and it's like a model train event where people could bring their model trains and like show it to each other.
That's always been my secret,
really?
To become it, like to be one of those guys one day. Yeah.
And to me, it was like this to them, like that is their Mario Kart tour. That is like, that's a something that brings them energy as a kid that they really enjoyed. That is like that. There'll be nothing like the model train to them ever. Because it reminds them of the good parts of their childhood. And so I think for us, like that is our Mario Kart tour is like, you know, it brings us that joy. And then the second point, which is unrelated, but still kind of similar to what you're talking about, is like we're all, as people, we all want to feel that we're unique and that we want to express ourselves. And so like for some, you know, in some cases, like I love like taking things to, you know, high levels because I'm like, this is my thing. Like the tropical truck, I'm so excited. Like the Secure Hop Ride, I was like, you know, these things, like I want it to be me. I want people to like to feel unique.
You express yourself in the game.
And I think one of the things, you know, in this community, we all want to feel noticed. And so kind of like thinking about why I was playing this game last year, one of my favorite parts was with you, Sammy D, to be the pit crew chief. This is like a way that I could say like, people will notice what I did. It's like, you know, like if a tree falls to the forest and no one hears it, did it actually fall? It's like, I think there's so many times where we're playing this game and we're playing it alone. And like, we can feel like that tree that fell in the middle of the forest that like, do we actually exist? Do we actually play? And so for me, that pit crew chief was like a way to say, you know, hey, you grinded. And like, it's led to, you know, whaling probably a little too hard. But I mean, I think for me, it's like, that was my sense of purpose and felt like I was getting, the recognition or the uniqueness. And so, you know, anytime anyone's there's the one downside to, having, any type of Discord or like people, you're doing a video where you're doing pipe pulls and someone's like, I pulled this in my freebie, I did this, and it's like, there's so many times where we're like, yeah, we're going to hear this all the time. But I always try to make a specific effort to say, like, that's an awesome pull, like great pull. Like I couldn't imagine like if that happened to me, because they just want to feel a sense of like that someone acknowledges what happened,
It's
or
such
else
a rush.
it happened at all.
Yeah. Totally understand that.
Yeah. I mean, and going to your analogy on like seeing big line of the people, like the big train guys, I think I think that the next, like a step further from that is like, I like being in this and not letting any of my tangible friends, coworkers, whatever, even know about this.
Secret society.
Yeah, like
It's
no
funny
one
you mentioned
knows.
that. We actually have a question. How many of your friends, like people that you might have known before 2019, have you told that you play Mario Kart Tour? And then a side question, that's really just kind of a part B. Did you downplay with the, sometimes I play this game, Mario Kart Tour? Or have you told them that you play this game hours a day, you're on a Discord, you're a super stud, you plan your meals around your crap pretend pools? Have you told any of your friends?
I have told a few people in my, like some very close coworkers. I even like told my boss because she was just kind of curious about like what I do. About that I put.
I would never tell my boss.
What?
I would never tell my boss. I was like one person.
I have a good connection with my boss.
Okay, cool.
That but like I say I do I play this game. It's a great community. I hop on some podcasts and stuff. So she and like my best friend and who's my best man at my wedding. Like I'll tell him about it, but like he doesn't give two craps about it. But so it's really cool to see like opposite side of the spectrum, because like here we are, we love this game so much that we talk about it for 2.5 hours and are having a blast and having this great community, and it's a big part of our lives. It's awesome just to have that kind of, I don't want to say it's like a secrecy, but just to kind of have this very wonderful side of my life, and then I can bounce to work. I don't want to say like real life, because this is real life too, but you probably know what I'm saying.
Yep. For me, it's kind of funny because I'm really like energetic in real life, so I move a lot of wind. So my boss like already know like everything about my Mario Karting YouTube channels. Funny part is at some point, like when Mario Kart 8, the first wave happened, I said to my boss, maybe I want to take some vacation. So like, oh, you want to play Mario Kart? Just like, yeah. Oh, you can have your vacation. It's fine. Grow your channel. That's fine. I was like, okay, thank you.
Nice.
And every time what other like I'm very close to, I try to explain her how YouTube works. I show her my faces with my thumb. That's for me. That's my joy. Every Wednesday, I'm like, oh my god, I have a new Daisy rules. I was like, ooh, what is that? I'm sure it was like, that's just fun for me. Like, so all my coworkers know I play that. I have no secrets. I don't mind to share. My girlfriend obviously know, but beside my jobs, I don't have much friend except all of you guys and other retro friend I have. But yeah, everybody knows what I do, which is fascinating for me.
What about you, FrenzyGrind? Any of your New Yorkers ever make fun of you, Mario Kart?
Mario Kart.
Me, okay.
Absolutely not. No. I back in the day, I got my 13-year-old cousin and my 7-year-old cousin into the game briefly, but they didn't stick with it because they just got too frustrated with how bad their levels were and how hard the game was. So, no, nobody.
What about you, FrenzyFans? I mean, you guys, it'd be hard to hide. I mean, you guys are really, really, really into your channel, and you guys do such a phenomenal job. Do your friends know?
They do. So when I was back in Georgia, and we were doing COVID, I was involved with the youth so like the young men that were like ages 12 to like 18. And I would kind of be in charge every now and again of like some of the activities that we would do. And so when we first started doing Mario Kart Tour, I would tell the boys, I was like, hey, this Wednesday night, everyone download Mario Kart Tour and we're gonna play online. And so then like from that point on, like they all knew, and none of them like still play, but we've got some friends. So we have a friend that actually spent like 2 years in Japan. And when one of the Japan tours came around, like he knew that we were into Mario Kart, and I was like, dude, you got to download the app now, because for the next 2 weeks, they're going to be driving all through Japan and you've been on those streets. And he's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then his daughter ends up downloading it.
They
and
still play. It's great.
yeah. So, I mean, for some people, like they think that it's fun and like get into it for a little bit. And then we have one of our last videos in Georgia was with our kind of friends. Yeah. So like it's a family of 4. The mom and the dad like are our age, obviously, but then the 2 kids, they're like what, 9 and 11?
Yeah, 9 and 11.
Not your age.
Not my age, yeah. But we've been friends with them for.
We're like their aunts and uncles.
Yeah, and it's been so much fun, seeing them and talking with them and kind of having that as like a.
They begged forever to be on our YouTube channel, so we finally did like a Meet the Mario Karters with them, where they were stoked about it. But
so
yeah, no, and I think also too, like I think we all have our passions in life, right? So like for me, like I'm really into, for those who don't know, I talk about it every now and then, but like entrepreneurship and marketing and like that type of stuff. Like I'm really into that world. I'm also really into Mario Kart and really into all these other worlds. And I think it's fun where like everything kind of overlaps a little bit, because you're able to relate to different things with different people. But never would I go to like my clients, they all know I have a Mario Kart channel, but it's never from like, oh, let me geek out about the game with you. It's like, oh, I'm learning these cool YouTube skills that like this is your, like how it's applied to your language and vice versa. So like I try to like kind of have everything integrate in a way, but.
You know what I have like on my email signature at work?
Huh.
I have my name, and like a lot of people have like these like acronyms of like whatever. I have ACRMKT after my name.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
You really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. A little secret message in case anyone's.
Yeah.
Like
awesome.
how long did you go to school to get that? It's like, well, it's at least a $20,000 degree.
Yeah, you got to get 85% on your spreadsheet. And
but in full disclosure, it took me like 6 months to like be okay with talking to friends about it. I was always like, not that we wouldn't talk to friends about it, but I was always like a little bit like, yeah, we do that, like.
Well, I think the fact that you guys do it together as a couple is actually like really commendable. I'm sure it's like, I wish I had that, like, something with that I could do.
Yeah, that's very rare.
The same.
Whereas like for a good example is I launched a little mini channel for my sons that played video games. I would play with them, and actually I told all my friends about that. I was like, hey, we got a little YouTube channel. We play we played Mario 3D World. We played Arceus. Like we played all these games together. I was telling everyone, I was like, hey, but I wouldn't tell them about my own channel, because like that to me, like sharing me playing with my sons is like, oh, I wish I had that with my son. It's like, yeah, they can watch me play with them, and like they'll remember that daddy was always playing with them and stuff. And like, whereas compared to so you play this game and then you record it playing, or you like that seems like super selfish, I think. So like for me, I just kind of keep it to and then it seems like super gamey. And then people think I'm a nerd, even though I am. So there's a little bit of that I kind of keep to myself. But I have last summer I shared with my friends, and they're like, that's cool. And I was like, yeah, I have subscribers and members, and like I've, they give me some money occasionally, and like, oh, if you can do it, like, hey,
that's their first question. You get any money out of it? Yeah.
Right.
And and again, it's never like it doesn't. I think like the per hour is like $1.50, but I think like ultimately like
That's
Good.
impressive.
As we know.
I built it up in my mind. It's like, I don't think they're not going to think I'm cool. They're going to think I'm a nerd. They're going to think I'm a
But
weirdo.
see, I've always been seen as a nerd, I guess, by my friends, or like someone who, and people also know that like I had before I started the channel, like 3 years before that, I did an art show that was a Mario Kart art show. So all of my favorite artists and designers, I got them. It was the anniversary of Mario Kart 64, and we did a huge art show. So I've done things about Mario Kart before, but in general, like the channel in general and playing was definitely like a need to know basis at first. There's maybe 5 or 6 friends who played at first, all those kind of those retro Nintendo friends you have, and you like you said, you play. They all dropped off. I think that's when we talk about breaking up to that next ceiling of action counts and stuff, like what it really takes to grind every week. Those players, like they all dropped off, those friends. So I don't, yeah. And I don't tell a lot of, I keep it all separate, kind of for reasons I alluded to before.
Yeah.
I've got my drumming career and my graphic design career, and I've just, like, people don't know I do one and people don't know I do the other, and it's just it kind of amuses me a little bit, and I'm fine with it. But we had a couple of family reunions recently, like with my partner's family, and like I was meeting everyone, right, meeting all these aunts and cousins, and they were like, what do you do? And I said, I'm a drummer and a designer, and I also have a little YouTube channel on the side, and they're like, oh, what is it? And yeah, all the same questions. Well, so are you just playing the game? I'm like, well, no, it's because I'm kind of talking about the strategies and stuff. And they're like, oh, wow, cool. Yeah.
That's about like, wait, you don't play the game? Like, you don't stream this game?
Yeah, they're always like, on Twitch, like you're streaming on Twitch. I'm like, well, no, but I could, but I stream sometimes, but it's more like talking about it. And
it's so hard to describe to someone who's not in the world too, right?
Yeah.
Especially when they ask, like, well, how do you win?
Yeah.
Well, how much time do you
all
get?
winners.
Yeah, it's kind of a vicious cycle that will go on for all of
And then it throws me off when someone knows just enough about the game to ask you questions, and then it just becomes awkward. Like my dentist back in Georgia, like somehow he found out we did it, so he subscribed to our channel and like watched it. I remember he was like working on my, like giving me my teeth cleaning or whatever, and he's all like, so did you buy the so pack this week? And I'm like,
that's amazing.
I would lose my mind.
Wow.
This is awkward. Just clean my teeth.
Good way, guys. We're like we've been having such an awesome conversation. We've let it stick around. I'm cool with hanging out a little bit longer. I have one question I really want to get to. We might have to table some of these questions. I apologize we didn't get to everyone. In fact, I don't think we even got to half these questions.
Yeah.
There is a question I'd like to get to is, imagine it's year 2052. And Mario Kart Tour hasn't even been active for 20 years. Again, assuming it goes to 2032. And someone mentions the game, like we do Mario Kart 64 or GoldenEye. What would be your first thought of nostalgia? Again, 2052. We're talking about 30 years in the future. Mario Kart Tour going on for another 10. Mario Kart Tour being on the shelf for 20 years. And someone says, oh yeah, remember that one game you used to play, Mario Kart Tour? Again, you could do your own math of how old you are. What would be your first thought of this game? And I'm gonna have to take a bathroom break and I'll be right back. But what would be your first thought of nostalgia of this game in 2052?
Nostalgia, good or bad? I would just think of how much time I put into it.
What would be like the first driver you think of? What would be the first memory you think of? Like as you reminisce, like, for GoldenEye, I remember this, this level. I remember doing this with my friends. Like, where were you? What were you listening to? Like, there's so many memories going through your mind of those moments, of this 2, 3 years, 10 years, whatever it might be.
I think for me personally, and Studfit's going to do a crap or 10 poll right now, so let me know what you get, buddy.
In the bathroom.
With being a day one player, I remember the first tour was New York. I really didn't understand the concept of the game. I didn't know what the objective was. I thought just the objective was just to be first. I think I didn't really pull a pipe because I didn't want to spend money on it. But then I think the next one was a Japan tour, Tokyo tour. Was it the second one? And I think the standout thing was Hakama. And so I think if there's one iconic character for this game is, I think it's a comma. I
Dude,
think it's really
I
kicked it
love
off.
that. I love that you said that. I love that you chose that.
In the way that he part of it is the way, like when you check his driver, the way he's standing.
Go off, dude. Go
It's
off.
very- it's
Preach,
very-
man.
preach it,
I am.
preach
This
it.
is your speaking right to my heart. This
like
is
he's
so.
just standing, he's
Oh, it's
looking,
the
he's
best
looking
pose.
off.
the
Like it's
best
very
pose.
it's very powerful, you know. It's
Dude, I remember seeing his hair, like the little. He has this little tuft
Yeah.
of hair.
I
I
didn't
was like,
even know
that is the best, like tuft of
didn't-
hair I've ever seen.
I didn't even know what a skill was. I didn't even know what coin box did.
Yeah, I
But
know.
just like when you look, like the look, like that was like that's, you know, it's like the Air Jordan logo. I mean,
I'm
that's
taking them to level A right now. I'm taking them to level A right now.
Let's go.
What?
do it.
We'll do it.
But I mean, so if you look in the like 30 years later, what's the most nostalgic? It's that figure, him looking, you know, in the
That was
robe.
the funnest pipe pull I think ever that we've ever done.
Oh, is that your like squealing one, FrenzyFans one? That was amazing.
So that's mine.
Dude, I love that.
And I'm not
cheese.
saying that because Sammy is here, but that's like the first thing that I think when I read the question, that was the first thing that came to my mind was a comment. He's not even my favorite. He's not even like my favorite driver, but like that, it's such an iconic. You know,
Yeah.
it's such a, like you look at his driver pose, and it's just very iconic.
First coin boxer too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
I love
I have to go with nostalgia also. I mean, the very first tour, the New York tour. I mean, I'm from New York, so for me, this was just a crazy thing for me, and I didn't really understand the game when that tour came out because it was the first tour of the game. I actually had a friend tell me how this worked. So he looked at my account because he's the one who got me into the game, and he said, you got 90 rubies. You pull the pipe. I was like, okay, so let's pull the pipe. He pulled it for me. I got pulling party time in the Platinum Taxi, my first 10 pull. He's like, you got 2 spotlights. Awesome. I'm like, okay,
You know
wonderful.
what that meant?
Yeah.
Not that I know 3 years later she'd be useless, but it doesn't matter because to me, that was just the memory of just like the New York tour because that was my tour, and not
Yeah.
just because it was the first tour. It just happened to land on where I'm from. So, 2 spotlights on your first 10 pull ever playing a game is pretty crazy. Whether you understand the game yet, or if you understand the skills or whatever. So, for me, that was pretty, crazy. And as I started to learn the game, I understood that those are pretty good pulls. So, and again, being from New York, it was
I bet.
kind of gratifying. So, whether they mean anything to my account now, probably not much, but it doesn't matter. Whatever, it's all good. It was still really fun.
Yeah, there've been a lot of those. I mean, from tracks to drivers, Kamek. I mean, there's been a lot of memories made already. Different cities, that we have our own attachments to and memories with.
Did you answer already yet, Sammy? Like, what would be?
I mean, I think Jeeves' answer is a mic drop. I mean, I feel that same way. I don't know why Hakama is like the one for me.
I mean, if this game was like packaged in a box, like he's on the cover, I think.
Yeah. There's this amazing, I'll send it to you, Jeeves. One of the earliest like images they ever released on like Twitter and stuff. Like, they make these cool images to promote the pipes and stuff. This is amazing Hakama shot. I'll have to send it to you. But yeah, that's what I think of too. And I still have a dream of really going hard on him. I would love it if somehow at the end of all this, he ends up being the best driver. That would be so cool if like at the end of the day, down the line, he was like the one,
Just snuck up on us.
So good. But
what about you, Draco?
I think I would be a lot repetitive, but I think at the start when a lot of my friend or other people would say like Mario Kart Tour was a gacha game and it was like super heavy, like you need to put a lot of money into it, and that was like the first perspective I have on it. But for me, like I said earlier, like since I'm a Mario Kart fan in general for all the Mario Kart series, I think for me what I always gonna remember from Mario Kart Tour is the changing constantly of tracks after 2 weeks. This is the biggest point in the community for me.
The
because,
anticipation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I play like too much, like 3,000 hours into MK8, that's a lot. And it's always the same track over and over. It's always the same pattern. You know the shortcut, you know the line, you know everything. You play competitive, it's always the same. But Mario Kart Tour, you open the game, different. Every tour, different. Changing track. Oh, you play an older track, come back. It's always the same stuff over. That's why I always gonna remember. And like I said, community for me, it's everything. All the friends I meet along the ways, I hope they're gonna stick around a little bit further, even if the game die. We don't know, but at least if I get down with Studfit a little bit more, Puffy, Larry, we also said like inside joke, we should like all live together at some point. That's just how we are. But I mean, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, that's another plan. But like I said, like for me, it's friendships matter more than the game, and that's just how it is. And I would always remember that all the time. All the passion I share with you guys. I mean, it's classic, but it's what it is.
The speculation and stuff for like characters and tracks is a big one for me, because I mean, I started the whole channel with the character wish list as my one. That was like the only idea I had of like a unique video I could do, and it ended up being, you know, a big part of my story and the channel story, and with Kamek, and then we've gotten a bunch of others now, you know. And by the time this video comes out, they might be yet another nostalgic retro remade track that was announced like tomorrow morning, you know, maybe even. And that anticipation of like what's coming next, you know, that's a big part of it for me that I'll remember.
To be honest with you, when I think back about your channel, Sammy, I think I'll think of two things. One is I remember you used to do like I'm trying to remember. They were like on Fridays. You would talk about like some of the lines you do on specific tracks.
Oh, the ranked cup breakdowns.
Yeah. Those really helped me early on, and that was like some of the early days. But I think the most memorable moment. Like, you might not even remembered it, but I remember you got some sake, you got some other stuff. You brought it into the park.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Park.
You brought it into like some kind of Japanese park with like, you know.
Oh yeah. My summer festival video.
Yeah. I think that was like one of the most memorable videos. I just remember, because I remember when you talked about your channel, you were saying how you would love to travel to some of these places and actually.
I wanted Nintendo to pay me to like be like the face of the game, where I'm like promoting it in actual cities. Like that was my whole idea.
That'd be so cool. Yeah.
I mean, they have ambassadors, but you don't get to do anything near that cool. But it's still kind of the dream. But
that's one of the things I've loved that you've been doing here recently is like going to the Thai restaurants and like
Tenuki for me.
To me, like that's what you wanted to do in the beginning, and like to me, I think that's what's so unique about your channel is like, you know, doing stuff like that. So kudos to you on that.
Thanks, bub.
I think Sammy D is selling himself short too. I always call him, I don't know, like my head, I always call him like the Mario Kart savant. Like, there's a certain group of people in the game who just at any point in time can be like, oh yeah, so-and-so was in this pipe at this point in time. So I think like 30 years down the road, Sammy D is going to be able to whip out some like amazing facts that I'll be like.
Actually, I'm not good with that. Like, I've already forgotten, like when it comes to like who has been in pipes and what tour. I was actually looking back on the last year, because I'm starting to think about the annual report that I might bring up I mean, we a couple months away from anniversary, so we're really looking back on last year. I was actually watching back my old videos from Kamek Tour till now, and just like seeing what happened this whole last year. And I didn't remember like when half of these pipes were, when characters debuted. I'm actually really bad with that, but I am good with like Mario Kart history. Like,
that's what I was gonna say.
Tracks were, and you know what that little side character, like the Cataquacks that are on Peach Beach, that everyone's speculating might be in a Peach Beach that might come next tour, and the Cataquacks would be the first time ever in Mario Kart Tour. So I do know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So as far as nostalgia for me, like I'm not going to remember anything other than the community and Gegshi. I'm going to be so like Gegshi's in my heart. He loves Bowser like I love Yoshi. Like Yoshi's my dude. He always has been.
Draco, look away.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Draco, this is right there. Ah. Anyways,
you mean this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, it's gone.
So as soon as Gegshi came out, it was immediately like 1400, like that second, and I will forever remember him.
It's amazing.
So I have to set the stage real quick because in 2052, Studfit is going to be a household YouTuber name like PewDiePie, Dude Perfect, Mr. Beast. What's this other one? Ryan's World.
Ryan's World, yeah.
Right? Okay, so at that point, he's going to be just as well known as all of these YouTubers.
And I was here. I was here.
My nostalgia point is going to be, do you remember when Studfit put on a Santa Bowser costume? I was the guy that made him Studfit put on the Santa Bowser costume. And people are going to ask for my autograph.
Well, can I have now?
They have the second part right. I don't know if this, I'll get anywhere close to. I mean, honestly, I probably won't even have as many subscribers as Sammy has right now, to be honest with you. But you definitely have can take some full credit on putting Studfit on whatever map I'm on.
I wonder if we'll look back and remember that time we were on Studfit channel on Kart Talk, and we all did YOLOs to kick off season 2 for the Lightning Streamliner.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
I'm just saying. I'm just
Let me
saying.
see if I even have 45
Just
rubies.
saying.
I can't do it, but I
I'm
have
in.
heard this streamline.
I'm in. Let's do it.
I'm in.
One, just one.
All right, let's do it.
I
I
have
mean, you'll buy
118
some rubies, though.
rubies.
Hey,
Okay, no. This is no peer pressure. You can opt out. Save your rubies.
I can do it.
No, I'm all about peer pressure. I'm in.
Man, let's do it.
Just
So-
grab another one up mushroom. You'll be
Let
fine.
me just make sure I'm doing the right
Yeah,
pipe.
that's my plan.
Yeah.
week 2 pipe.
So we're doing a tenor.
On the week for the now
On the-
Draco has this card.
I
Right?
do. I got it into week 1 as.
But are you gonna do it anyway? Are you
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm gonna reset my pipe.
So yeah, we're gonna remember how we all got
Let me
gold.
reset mine, too.
Hold on, let me change.
We have to
my-
do it in week
Man,
2.
you guys, I thought I'd
Peer
have to work.
pressure, peer
I thought I'd
pressure
have to
thing.
work harder on you guys on that.
No,
That
peer
was-
pressure.
that was easy.
Oh,
I mean, it's episode 1 of season 2, man.
We got to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. In honor of Tabor's 10 poles.
yeah.
Tabor 10 polls.
All right,
Yes.
so we're gonna count it off, and I'll
Four
show.
cocktails, so
Z, are you in on this?
I'm in.
No pressure. No pressure.
but we're gonna do
I'm
week
looking
2
at stuff all night,
Week
so
2 pipe for this Lightning
No
McQueen
pressure, seriously.
Streamliner.
Still going.
Sammy's like,
Hold-
no pressure. I'm like, do it.
All right, so ready, everybody?
What?
3,
Wait,
2.
wait.
Wait.
All right.
How many golds will we get, chat? Here we go. 3,
We'll see what how many we
2.
get.
1, and fire.
Oh no.
Oh,
it's
so you got
green.
the gold.
It's
So you got the gold.
green.
We're all Studfit and
Wait,
and
do you have a
Z.
blue pipe?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's my green screen. So
Oh, that looks like yeah,
Fine.
the first
Green.
loop.
Oh, a green screen with the green pipe.
Okay,
Okay.
so how are we doing this?
You want to start with FrenzyGrind? We'll do the gold first.
All right, yeah.
All right,
Now, let's do the fate. Let's do the greens first. Let's do the greens.
Oh,
first.
greens first. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
All right.
I mean, blue.
Here,
Okay.
here you go.
All right. Jesus is going.
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep it going.
Yeah, keep it going.
You're gonna,
Keep
you're
it
gonna
going.
have
Feel free to
and
tap
stuff.
if you need to.
There were
We need
2
some-
gold pipes.
Luigi. Because we could be here for another hour. Just
Okay, here I'll go with you, Chiefs.
All right.
We'll start.
Okay.
firing.
Oh,
No, it's fake. It's a
green
fake.
pipe.
It's a fake.
Oh,
All right.
Yes, sir.
That's 7 and 2 of 5. Okay, I don't have that guy.
Yes,
Actually.
I got
Okay,
try
we're
it
gonna
out.
start 2.
I don't have that driver. Someone's say if you're getting anything.
Roy,
Okay.
Parachute.
Kitty cart.
Inferno.
Good memory.
Cooper Clown.
Tripper.
Block.
Oh, I got a fake green pipe.
Whoa! It's
Oh, what'd you get?
a terrible
Bumblebee.
Yeah, the
Hey,
Bumblebee.
Oh,
Draco
the
tricked me
least
with that
popular.
card. Remember that, Draco?
Yeah, I did.
Congratulations.
Nice.
I trick you, and a Fuda as well.
You do get the hood food too.
Hey, they're
Hey, Mario.
twinners.
Okay. I just want to see if
More
Studfit or Z gets this card at this
This
point.
is a trash pipe.
And I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna lock the door and throw away the
Yeah,
key
me
on.
too. I'm gonna reset that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be tempted to go more.
That's
than
what I got.
this.
Bad one.
Sorry, we got some coins, guys.
All right.
All right, resetting, locking the door,
Frenzy
throwing
fans
away
still
the
wrapping
key.
up.
I'm out.
Wow.
Fan gal.
Just for the
Bumblebee.
fans. That's how much we
This
love
is for
you.
Pie
Tabor.
boogie.
Tabor 10 pull right here.
Tabor 10 pull. Shout out to Tabor.
That's a Tabor.
That's good for my dailies again. It's all green.
Oh
Ugh.
man.
All right, well,
Not
so
even
we'll
a
go,
super.
oh,
Knocking
man,
the
that's
door.
brutal.
Look at
All right,
that.
so let's go Z and then we'll go Studfit.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
All
Z.
normals, all normals.
Got
Wow.
Bumblebee. That was great.
Z's gonna get Ice Mario right here.
Of
He
course
is.
I am.
Cat
No,
Peach,
the-
Cat Peach,
Mario
Cat
SPS,
Peach.
that's what it's gonna be.
Oh, straight off the
Cat
bat.
Peach.
Did I not call it?
Can't see. Oh, a classic.
Hey,
Ooh,
Mario Classic.
Classic Mario.
What a waste of rubies that is.
Yeah, it's too bad these. it's too bad the rest of the items are not.
All right.
Tabor peer pressure.
It's all for that cart.
Oh, you got more in there, right?
Tap it.
Is
You want me
just
to do
a
the whole
single?
10 or are we going one for
Keep
one?
going. Keep
Oh,
going.
go, blast them through.
All right.
But yeah, I'm so blessed. I got it in my week 1.
That's
without-
incredible, Draco.
I'm
That's
so
Oh,
jealous.
wow.
that's a rare thing.
Nice.
Somebody else did that too.
I think Shy Guy card, or I see Mancolor got it as like
wasn't-
that.
I'm thinking somebody else.
Yeah. It's having I got the green sprout in week 1 of that tour. Otherwise I wouldn't have the green sprout or be in the or have it
Yeah.
at a high level. It happens from
Because
time to time.
I did not want it to put into this type at all. I was keeping because no need to.
Coins.
Those coins.
But I feel lucky, so I would take it for once.
That's amazing, dude. Those precious coins though.
I love gold pipes.
Oh, I know.
so
They're the
great.
best. We needed
It's not golden hours.
And you're not wearing your eggs, your
Yeah.
egg hat.
Where did,
I didn't wear my hat either. Dang.
where'd Yoshi go?
Oh, I should have.
Stud-
I should have been a crapper. Dang it.
Studfit's gonna close us out with the lightning
Here you go,
McQueen
Studfit. I gotcha.
liner.
I don't know.
And join me after that, level
Oh,
6.
thank you.
Did you take it to level 6, Draco?
I did level 6
Oh, that-
double cap.
So do you pair your carts with the actual meta for the princesses, or do you just go on ones you like?
Most likely one I like the most and what give me the most coverage because I don't have the luxury to have a lot of tickets. So,
Yeah.
but that one was a gamble because I feel I was lucky. So I was like, maybe that's the one.
All right,
Stud.
Stutters,
All right,
get that
Studfit,
cart,
right
All
here.
baby.
right, see what we get.
Well, well,
But it's
you-
classic Mario.
No, you're gonna get the cart. Come on.
You get the cart
Visualize-
taken off my
visualize it.
shirt.
Oh god.
I want that. I want that.
Oh,
The shirt
no.
off.
Oh no. Season.
McLean.
I don't think we're visualizing it well enough.
Yeah,
as you
come
guys.
on, Studfit.
Come on.
See those lightning bolts.
McQueen.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
Mark
Mm.
II.
He
That's
dashed.
a-
Hey,
Wait,
what-
Mark II.
what did you have in that? Wait, you
Uh,
only have it at 3 and 2?
It's at 4 now.
Oh wow.
All right, Lightning McQueen. Let's go.
And they'll help in rank,
I
right?
still figured you'd have that one higher. Kareem is
Oh.
always hounding me to keep going on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, a
Hey,
double.
double.
Oh,
See?
Oh,
two
Wow.
cards.
You're a car collector.
Dude,
You could still
Can
get
we
another
go
one.
all
I guess I
Oh.
could.
way?
They'll get a triple cart.
Shirt staying on. Sorry, guys. The
Wait,
two-
was this a fresh pipe for you, or were you already like
Studfit
well into
Pros.
it?
Uh-oh.
Oh, here's that.
Oh, I should have reset. Damn. Oh.
There you
Why
go.
would you? All right. Well, hey, it was fun.
I got
the
two
goal.
cards. I got two cards. Well, guys, we got through half the questions. We tried, but we got through some awesome conversation. And honestly, like what has been Kart Talk is mainly talking about the tour we're in and like the tour we're coming up to. It's kind of like my tour reaction to like the thumbnails and like the little like glimpse of somebody you see. I know some people have their own videos for it. Like that's Kart Talk has kind of turned into that. But this was honestly just awesome just to talk about where we are in the game and kind of take a good pulse check for how we're feeling and kind of where we're going through right now in 2022 of the summer. So thank you guys all for joining us. This is probably one of my favorite episodes, if not my most favorite. So couldn't have done without you guys. So I'll let you guys go around though and just make a quick goodbye as we're wrapping up. But first off, thank you so much, Sammy, for joining us, man. What an absolute honor anytime you're able to join us. So thank you so much. What would you like to say to some of your fans?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think a year ago I would still be doing videos. I wanted to actually, I was watching back on those videos of like Kamek and Tanuki Tour, and I was like, I was talking about stopping, and I did stop for the month of the holidays when we lost our brother-in-law, but I'm still here. I'm still going, and I don't know I don't know when I'll ever stop, but I appreciate all my viewers and fans for checking out the channel still and growing it with me, and tuning into these other great content creators here and all the new ones coming up. Everyone's carrying the torch, no matter how the community changes, who comes in and out, the torch will go on and be carried forward. Thanks to everyone here for sharing so much, like, of the personal stuff tonight. I really like, that was very cool, and I'll remember that for sure. So you guys are awesome, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome. Draco, since you won a contest, thank you for joining us. What would you like to say to some of your fans? And by the way, we'll have a link in the description for Draco655's channel. You can check him out. Definitely subscribe and follow the Mushroom Legacy.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Studfit, like, thank you so much for inviting me always. You're such a great friend. Sammy D, that was an honor to meet you and talk with you. I hope we can do my quiz, because I really want to invite you, FrenzyFans as well, or even Jeep. I want to invite everybody who just want to have fun with my quiz. Also, if you like Mushroom Legacy, like I said, Peach stays in Rosalina for ACR ranking. I try hard, push hard, having fun. If you like that, I mean, I'm your guy. But also, like, everybody here is so wonderful. I like everybody here. So huge shout out to everybody. And thanks you so much for inviting me, Studfit. I appreciate a lot.
Are you ready for maybe another Princess next tour?
I hope so. It doesn't matter the skills. I'm going for it. Giant banana is the year of the giant banana peach. I'm calling it giant banana peach.
Yep.
Giant banana peach. You gotta like that. Jeeves, what'd you say to your fans, man?
Well, I don't have fans. I have friends. I'm
fan.
glad Sammy showed up. It's, I haven't been on with him in a while, and we've DM'd some, but thank you, Sammy, for being on. It's really, you really do a good thing with your channel. Same with FrenzyFans. I don't know. I will just say, I honestly thought this thing wasn't going to take off, and it did. So I'm just here for the ride, and we'll see you next time.
FrenzyGrind.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to say that all you content creators are just such amazing people, and you provide such amazing content. Just keep up the good work. I would just say to new players, because I was a new player when I first started this game, subscribe to these guys, become members, join their Discords. I learned how to play this game thanks to people like Abdallah, thanks to Sammy, thanks to Studfit, and everyone else. Go Shiny. So I learned how to play this game thanks to them, and they provide such amazing content. And we have such great upcoming people, like FrenzyFans and Draco and everybody else who's just coming up the ranks. So thank you to all of you. I would just say, just subscribe, because they're going to be a great help to your game, just helping you get better and just learning how to play the game, because I did not have a clue to play this game until I joined their Discords and watched their videos. So just, I would hope that you would just do that, become members, just subscribe, and help yourself and become better at this game. So thank you to all you guys. Sammy, nice to meet you in person finally. And
absolutely.
All you guys, thank you for having me on, Studfit, as usual. And all you guys, thank you.
It doesn't look like, I don't think this game's going anywhere away. So it just seems to be kind of building and building. It's being advertised on like the Apple Store. This is not like Nintendo is just bringing the heat. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. So we'll keep. I'm gonna be here for a while. Again, Lord willing. But ultimately, just so thankful to see new people in the community. And I hope that those new viewers do get connected with. However, there's a lot of flavors out there. Hopefully, you get connected with people that you feel respect you and welcome you. And I think there's a lot of those communities out there, including FrenzyFans server. FrenzyFans, how would you like to say goodbye to your fans, and then why don't you do your patent pending send off?
Well, first off, if you guys are watching this long and you haven't hit the like button and the subscribe button on this channel, make sure you do that. Then go do it to Sammy D's channel, then Draco's channel, And then our channel, I can only say that because I really feel like our channel wouldn't exist without him. So I feel like there's really no like egotistical thing in that. And enjoy the game. Like this game is a blast. So have fun, learn what you can, pace yourself, and enjoy the ride.
All right. So pop quiz, everyone. How many miles are in a marathon?
30,
26.2.
No
How
idea.
many?
26.2.
26.2.
20.
27.
I didn't even know it was a set number.
How many episodes were in season 1 of Kart Talk?
26.
Okay, so I just want to take a moment to reflect on the marathon that Studfit has recently accomplished by having 26 episodes within a full calendar year. The tenacity and just the discipline, and I mean, we were talking about family life, like doing something that's this grand on this scale, in addition to playing the game at the level that you do. You make it look easy. Your content is amazing. It's phenomenal. Everyone references it, no matter what the community, if it's in Discord, Reddit, Google, whatever. Just props to you. It's been a pleasure and an absolute blessing to be part of the ride. I don't know exactly how many episodes that we've been in. You said earlier 20. Seems like it's a lot. Being that 20 is a lot. I know that we've been around a few. 20 seems like it's a bit much though. But we just appreciate you and just all the love that you have for the community and for this game, and the passion that you help us all help us with our passion in the game too. So props to you. Thanks. And here's to another marathon starting this year, and hopefully next year we're all looking a little bit older, maybe a little bit wiser. We'll look back at this video, maybe you'll have a screenshot of this video and be like, oh yeah, Frenzy fanboy, he's like shaved off his beard for a little bit. That was not smart. Because it'll come back, you know, just when life kind of gets back to normal. But anyway,
yeah.
You've
Well, thank
earned
you
all
very much.
those
Thank you for
Bang
saying that. I really
energy
appreciate that.
drinks.
So anyway,
well said.
we appreciate you. You have a very special place in all of our hearts, and we wish nothing but the best to you and to your boys and your wife and your family and all your endeavors, your career. I know you're successful in so many facets of life, and we wish nothing but the best for you.
Yep, totally.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Having said that, until the next episode, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.
See you guys later.
Nice.
Bye.